This has been a fucking boat week with women. It's been a women boat week on this show.
It's all about the boats and hoes, Dick.
On the
boats
live shows,
Yeah, boats and hoes. Go figure.
We're recording. We are live. This is a podcast.
Hi.
That's all theoretical.
I'm Phoenix West.
Adam Wilcox.
Dick.
Threw myself down here for no reason.
I know. I don't like it. This is
messing
weird.
me up because I don't know if I'm supposed to go next.
Yeah, I don't like this at all.
If we're going clockwise, you're still next.
I don't like it. Just like this episode of Telephone Time. Ah! I don't like it.
I wish I could do the Superman thing where they make you float away.
No, that'd be awesome.
Oh, like being in the Phantom Zone.
Yeah.
You will never fall me around. I shall have my revenge on you and your family and your forefathers. Your forebears.
And your ass!
Your ass, that's what it was. And your ass!
You will bow down before me.
You tell Clark Kent I'm coming. You tell him I'm fucking coming. That's the lineman.
So, Adam.
That's a better movie than this shit. You picked it. You gotta explain
nothing
it.
fucking happens, man. Okay, look. I read the scores. I read a little bit of a synopsis. It was about ghosts and boats and ships, and I like ghosts and ships in my stories. There's barely a ship in this. It's a set that's about 3 feet wide. We see Boris Karloff briefly as a ghost. She has a hallucination. Then they pick up some guy on an island, and it looks exactly like the ghost of Boris Karloff, and his handwriting matches the handwriting that a ghost wrote. And that's the end. That's it. There's 2 fucking commercials for telephones. It's like some weird 50s like phone sex bullshit in black and white. That was kind of weird.
And when
Other than that, I was highly annoyed by this episode.
Sleep. Let me kiss your wife now. Let me
It was
read the summary on IMDb. Mary Norick embarks on her first voyage with her sea captain husband's ship. She has a vision of a ghostly apparition who tries to warn her of an impending danger. He didn't do that. Mary can't convince her husband or the other crew members that something is amiss, but she does.
We got none of that. That's what I read. That's what made me excited, and I feel like I was not delivered on any of that.
We got a 12-second ghostly vision of Boris Karloff in like a weird white robe.
Yeah.
And is this going to be the shortest podcast ever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boris Karloff died in 1969.
Yeah.
Here's lostflix.com.
And we're still talking about it to this day.
2 out of 10 because at least it wasn't last week's episode.
This has a 7.5 with 55 dumb assholes.
That's bull. They're doing that. They didn't watch it. They don't know what it is.
Fuck!
That's a lie. That's a logarithm. Algorithm.
Why is there an algorithm on this episode?
No,
it's
because
a Marvel movie.
No, it's just a bot. It's bots that make those votes happen.
No,
they're not real. They're not real people. It's a robot. It's an AI.
What, to go get people to see this in the theater?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I picked the wrong week to stop sniffing glue. God damn.
Holy shit. Okay. The Veil, episode 100. It's called Vestris on IMDb. It's called The Vestris if you watch it on the actual episode.
Well, what the fuck was Telephone Time?
I don't know. It was the advertiser for the show. I don't know why they're advertising phones in general.
Why put it into the episode, especially if you lifted this off of, borrowed this off of a Blu-ray? Why put the fucking commercial in there?
I'm glad they did, because it was the most entertaining thing.
It was really well
You're
done.
right, it was. Yeah,
I preferred that to the whole thing, yeah.
A stern break from harsh boredom that was The Veil.
And that chick was hot.
Vestris.
Episode 4 of B-Movie Battle, we watched Star Wars Holiday Special, and commercials from the original airing were on there, and they were the best thing on there.
That would be awesome. That would be
especially those old toy commercials and cereal commercials.
It was just toys. And then
everything, the toys and the cereal were just made of MSG back then.
You just got one weird random commercial of the American Garment Workers Union, where they all come out and sing a song. It's so weird.
Song of singing, sing.
I remember back for one Christmas, I just opened up a package under the Christmas tree, and it was just a big box of monosodium glutamate, just MSG, all the MSG I could eat. Yep.
So the guy who introduces this is the same guy from the Mole Men episode of that's on MST through K.
This guy's been dead for 150 years.
He died
He's dead in this episode.
a fucking year or year after you were born, Dick.
Oh my God.
It's all your fault!
He looked dead in the 50s. He
His
still
name
lived
is
past them.
Frank C. Baxter.
Wow.
Mole Men.
Frank C. Baxter.
Yeah, here he is in Mole Men. Down.
Into the
Playing the same fucking part. Yep.
I think he just shows up in your episode, like you hired him, like Neil deGrasse Tyson. You hire him and he shows up and he explains the science of your thing.
Yeah, his job is to just explain things to the audience. Explain the
like-
plot to the audience.
He has
Like
a
mole
science-
people.
He's like Bill Nye. He has a Bell Science series, Our Mr. Sun, written and produced by Frank Capra.
Yeah, he's a fake scientist like Bill Nye.
Hey, he's a real scientist.
Bill Nye is not a real scientist. He's a phony. He's a SAG card. It doesn't count.
Phony!
He's a phony.
Phony!
He's barely an engineer.
There we
And
go.
I've got the paperwork to prove it.
Expose him.
He's done. I'm taking him down. I'm taking him, Dr. Giggles. They're all going down.
Dr. Pepper. They're all
Dr.
going
Pepper.
down.
Pepper's
Feel
gone.
good?
You're Hippocratic. You disobeyed the Hippocratic oath.
Not once did you document make me feel good.
Nope. In fact, it gave me diabetes. You told me to keep drinking it, and I did, and my feet are gone.
I got a lawsuit pending here.
Dr. Pepper, sugarless asshole.
That's regular.
Oh, regular. Is that Dr. Pepper?
Yeah.
Or is that Mr. Pepper?
Mr. Pibb.
There's Dr. Manhattan, or no, there's Dr. Thunder. Dr. Thunder is the one I'm
Dr.
thinking
Thunder.
of.
It's the nurse practitioner of Dr. Pepper. It's just
Yeah.
Mr. Pepper, PhD.
Nurse Pepper.
Nurse Pepper, there you go.
Hello, I'm Nurse Pepper, and I'm not quite a doctor. I'm trying, but it's not working out.
But I did
I'm-
go to medical school.
Really flustered by this. Bill Nye is not a doctor.
I went to junior college.
So did I.
Online technical school.
Phoenix Online.
Damn right.
You own it. That's your company. That's what nobody knows about you. Is that
That's
you
where
are
I made
Phoenix
all of his
School.
millions. He
You are the
started
Phoenix School.
Online. Yeah.
You know, there's a real estate company out here called Phoenix West. So I have to see my name on the sign everywhere.
That's fine.
So weird.
As soon as they run out of money, you can just buy it and just move in. Just leave everything the way it is. Throw an
So-
LIW logo on the outside.
All right, let's attempt to go talk about it as much as we can.
It's just really nonsensical plot, man. I mean, the synopsis sums it up better than the episode did.
Yeah, it's literally you see the captain. He goes inside. He sees his wife, and then she's talking about how she doesn't want to be there or something. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I'll be honest. And then eventually she wakes up and sees the ghost of Boris Karloff. He says nothing. Whose house phone?
I don't have a house phone.
Okay, so we know who it is.
I'm regressing.
And then the ghost wrote, what did it say? Something northwest.
Northwest. Ho!
And that's it. And then
Yeah.
there's another 10 minutes of him having other people write that on the chalkboard and then getting it. And he's like, I don't know. And then there's two people on there that look like 50 different celebrities between the two of them.
It's a nothing episode, man. I mean, it really just wow.
It's
You
like
know,
an anecdote at a party. That's what this is. It's an anecdote from an old guy in the corner saying, I remember this show called Boris Karloff Theater. Like, he's not even right. Like, not even close to the original title. There was a woman, reminded me of you, and that's as far as it goes. And that would be the episode we just watched.
Was
bad.
originally shown as Telephone Time, the Vestris from Telephone Time, which is a whole different show. Now we
What?
know why it's called.
Okay. Brought to you by telephone bullshit. So
This is going to be more entertaining than the actual show. 81 episodes of Telephone Time. Holy shit.
Here's my question, because I didn't bother to research it. Is this before or after Thriller?
Michael Jackson?
No, the TV show Thriller that Boris Karloff hosted.
It's got to be before.
Very similar to the plot of One Step Beyond the Navigator from 1959, from One Step Beyond, which aired 1 year earlier in 1958. That's what it says. But that show's 19.
It's not as good as that other show that was on the 50s. One step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break!
Can someone explain the math here? This is 1958. Very similar to the plot of One Step Beyond the Navigator in 1959, from One Step Beyond 1959, which aired 1 year earlier in 1958. What?
My head plagiarized it.
My head hurts.
No, this came out before.
My head's the blood's in my head.
Dude, this episode is punishingly boring. I mean, just so amazingly. It shit like this makes us appreciate Inside Number 9 so much more.
Sad to say, this is not the most boringest thing we've seen.
Do you guys want to watch
that night gallery? What?
So I almost feel like we should watch an episode of Inside Number 9 right now.
Oh my god!
Just as a palate cleanser. Yeah.
Oh my god!
Save that. We got to save those because eventually we'll run out of them.
I'm telling you, no. I still think the last thing we saw with the fish head woman is worse than this.
Was that worse than the stupid chiller show that we saw?
No.
That was a whole nother league.
Hey, that one's 50-something minutes, 52 minutes.
Yeah, that's why.
And that had no plot. This had more plot points in half the time. So
yes, no, I will give credit to this show. It was shorter, and then we had
but
a
this
wonderful.
Still only has
like
2 points of plot, and it's about half an hour long, and you can feel the time going by on this one too. Really slow.
Here's how I know it wasn't as bad as that. I was fucking angry last week. I was like irate, and this week I was bored, and we're at a loss for words, but.
Yeah,
I'm not angry. I'm just kind of like, what the hell was that?
Well, I was excited, man, because I love me some Boris Karloff, and I said, okay, well, let's just pick the pilot and see where it goes. Sadly, that has the highest score, so that means that there are episodes that are far worse than this.
What is so great about Boris Karloff for you?
I have an affinity for the classic monster greats, Bill.
I know that about him.
Boris Karloff, all that shit. I like that. I like listening to him talk. I always thought it would be really cool to make a turn-by-turn navigation with Boris Karloff's voice.
Oh yeah.
If he's going to reroute me through Georgia, I would like to hear his voice.
And who the fuck would know who Boris Karloff is outside of this group to have him be on a
everybody has seen How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the original cartoon.
They don't know who
who Boris Karloff is. And everybody's aware of a movie called Frankenstein, and he was the original monster.
Yeah.
You'd be saying, people are getting dumber and dumber every year. They can't fucking remember the 80s, let alone the fucking 60s.
Horror fans fanatically know about it.
It would clearly be a niche GPS voice, but I still want it.
It'd be awesome, though. They need to do one for Boris Karloff, Samuel L. Jackson, and Vincent Price.
Can you imagine...
pay money for those.
Can you imagine Bela Lugosi though, where you're like, "What? Where?" You won't be able to understand a fucking word he said. I assume Boris Karloff was from somewhere else, but he's just English.
Yeah.
His name
Rerouting.
Russian. Yeah.
Make a left at the next intersection. Keep left to the next street. Rerouting.
Take me out of this jungle hell.
I have an actual question about the episode.
Yes.
After she can't convince her husband that this apparition was real, despite all the one piece of evidence, why does she suddenly come down with a really bad sickness? She gets down with the sickness.
It's flustered her. She's stressed.
To say that.
She's stressed out to the point of just the fever. Oh, no one understands what I'm trying to say. Oh.
Are you digging down with the sickness, Phoenix?
Ooh.
Oh.
No, but why did she suddenly take on physical ailments like she's dying of TB? I don't understand what the fuck happened.
Sickness is rising.
I
can't remember the words of the song. That's all I remember.
That is the words.
I can see the sickness is rising, and timidly it changes. That's it. That's it. Suddenly she changes because she's sick.
Does anybody have an answer for real?
No.
No? None of
No.
us, right? Because why? It didn't.
Because
it
I
didn't
don't
happen.
care.
Suddenly she's in the
answer is
bed dying.
It's for effect. It's for the show.
And then even though the captain doesn't tell him to go northwest, the dude that's with the wheel with the script duct tape to the back of it is like going, oh, and he's like, wait, are you going northwest? She's like, yeah, why? He's like, all right.
That's odd.
They go northwest.
The purpose of a female in any horror or science fiction situation prior to like the
Titties.
60s maybe is to be rescued in between bouts of passing out, fainting, or getting
going.
sick.
79 before Sigourney Weaver.
Probably.
Women in
before
horror
Sigourney
movies.
Weaver. Thank you, Sigourney Weaver, for eliminating that shit.
Well, she didn't do it. That was really Scott. But other than that,
Yeah, you got to give a man credit. Okay, Dick.
Well, guess what? A man did it.
Real fitting of your name.
And
Dick.
guess what they had her do in that scene when she escaped the alien? She's in her tight cotton panties.
Oh,
So
yeah, she is.
she's in that nice cotton white shirt showing off them hard Sigourney Weaver nipples.
I couldn't be.
Well, it's
less
very cold in space.
Sigourney Weaver
It's very
that
cold
way.
in space.
I think Sigourney
wanted to
Weaver's
remind
hot.
the audience. Wanted to remind
I
the
really
audience
do.
of how cold it is in space.
She's
No one
never
can
seen a
see
day.
your nipples erected in
It's just
space.
it's dramatic effect.
She's hot. I think Sigourney Weaver can be hot. I really do.
Oh yeah.
I think she's a
love her.
tragically
I do,
attractive
yeah.
woman.
Oh yeah.
She's
I agree
hot.
with you.
She's
got
really
something
hot. Cabin in the Woods.
I don't remember her Cabin in the Woods. Oh, that's right. Yeah. You don't understand. We have to do this. Ah.
There's a thing I used to do, which was whenever I'm watching a really bad movie from like the early 2010s, I would sit there and go, I feel like Sigourney Weaver is going to show up. And then like three times I predicted it, she did. And I was like, there she is.
Look,
She was
Cabin in the
in
Woods
so many bad
isn't a
movies back
bad.
then.
You did not
No.
like Cabin in the Woods?
No, I love Cabin in the Woods.
Okay,
I'm just saying she was in like the movie Abduction,
Yes.
and she has a line which she has to say with sincerity. I hate balloons. What the fuck are you doing, Sigourney? It's a Taylor Lautner movie. Why are you in
money? Yeah, I'll do it. I have to do my little pictures like Avatar to make my bigger movies like Abduction.
Oh God, Avatar.
Avatar.
She's in that?
Yeah, she's in Avatar. Yeah, duh. She's in
Oh,
Avatar.
I watched it.
Yeah,
once.
she's one of the.
She's in
Navi
Avatar,
people.
yeah.
I saw it when it came out and forgot everything.
I agree.
Everybody forgot everything that came out. That's why I think it's silly to put out a sequel now because fucking nobody remembers anything from that movie.
Excuse me.
Nobody
I don't-
even has it in their collection. Yeah.
A sequel? Don't be crazy.
Yeah, there's like zillion fucking sequels coming out to this, allegedly coming out to this, and
I think the
nobody's
studio-
gonna see the first one.
I think now with well, I don't know. I guess Pandora the Ride is supposed to be quite incredible.
I mean, it
And
couldn't have
that's-
anything to do with James Cameron being on an ego trip. No, not
Yeah.
at all. None of
Who?
that. No.
Do you have to feed your hair into a hole to ride the ride?
Yeah.
I'm
Fuck
melting
it.
with the ride.
Oh, I feel so good.
You had to braid it.
Came all over the seat.
All I have is my pubes. This hurts.
Oh.
Hurry up.
But it hurts so good. I love the environment.
Oh
Oh,
my God! Suddenly I have blue balls from being on this ride.
I have to buy a Prius now. I love the earth so much.
Is that Stephen Lang working in the gift shop after this ride?
Oh, yeah.
I'm in the next 5 movies. Did you know that too?
Hey, he follows me on Twitter. You leave
Drinking
Stephen
my
Lang
coffee.
alone.
I'm Stephen Lang.
don't
I
know
was
what-
not in Andersonville, but people seem to think I was.
Yeah.
I was
No,
in.
he was
Tombstone.
really in Andersonville, like the real Andersonville.
Yeah, he's
That's
good.
how
He's
old
good
he
like
is.
that.
Yeah.
He was great in. He's great in Tombstone. You don't need no lip from no bartender neither.
He's great.
That's
man.
right. You Kansas City Law Dog, because Law don't go around here.
What's that movie we tried to think of before, set in Detroit, where the girl, Stephen Lang is deaf, and she snuck.
Oh,
into the house?
I know what you're talking about.
We kept trying to think of the name of it. We couldn't do it.
It's supposed to be a good movie.
It was a
too.
good movie. I really
I
liked
never
it.
saw it, but I heard it was really good.
He's
I want
deaf.
to say
She sneaks in Detroit.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It's recent. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Beverly Hills Cop 4.
Yes. Okay, we got it.
Ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da.
That's gonna bug me now because I heard some good reviews on that one.
It's like
2018, I
It's
think
like
that came out.
Breathless or
Something like that. Yeah.
Something
It's
I
closer
think it's
to
an
All
that,
right.
closer to that Lights Out movie.
I think it's an adjective. Like the title's an adjective.
It's something, yeah.
Breaths
Everything we brought
out.
up before, I mentioned Lights Out. I'm like, I know it's a different movie, but the
Yeah.
title.
It's
something
called
to-
Don't Breathe.
Don't Breathe. See?
Yeah, don't breathe.
Don't
yeah.
breathe.
Anyway, good movie.
Yeah, I need to watch that one.
I really
I need to
enjoyed
see.
7.1 out of 10. Yeah.
I want to see Crawl.
It gets fucking gross at the end, though. Just be.
I
aware.
heard. I know what happens.
Yeah.
Someone spoiled it, and I didn't care. But
Something
Oh,
about
yeah.
a turkey baster. Yeah.
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 Yeah. You know, I suddenly started collecting turkey basters after I watched the review for that movie. I can't stop buying them everywhere I go. I just keep buying them, and
Well,
leave
you
them
got-
laying
you
around.
Blow 'em up.
Leave them laying around the house.
Yeah, you got to freeze it, and then thaw it, and then
That's what I
put
heard.
the baster.
Just
I
like
mean, you
Jodie
know.
Foster.
Save it for Thanksgiving, right?
Just like Jodie Foster.
Do you have a fish-shaped applicator? That's my Jodie Foster impression.
This is Jodie Foster. I'm gonna tell you something right now. I'm in Panic Room. See that movie? I was in Panic Room. Help us, please.
I was in a really intelligent science fiction called Contact.
Did you see Contact? I'm in contact with my alien dad. My alien
Matthew
dad.
McConaughey.
My theory was he's the drug dealer in that movie. That's why he was there.
He's a drug
Oh,
dealer in
give me
every
something.
movie.
I'll give you some of the flour, right?
That's why his best movie is Wolf of Wall Street.
Not in the movie.
Because
He
he's
was
playing
on
himself. He's introduced Leonardo DiCaprio to cocaine for real.
And jerking off.
Cocaine.
Very dust.
So the veil. He heals her after 13 seconds of treating her.
Because he's a good doctor, asshole.
We skipped over.
They give her so much
Hold on.
booze, you're trying to turn her into Judy Garland on this fucking movie.
I forgot we skipped over the other one of the 4 plot points. They do go northwest, and they find in the most steady held periscope or whatever that's called. What's it called, Adam?
Oh,
Periscope.
Periscope. Yeah, I don't know.
That's all-
Telescope.
He looks out,
Telescope.
and he sees
Telescope. Spyglass.
a spyglass. Thank you. He sees the guy, and there's a couple like shipwrecked dudes on a glacier, like on the ice, and they're like, oh, and they pick him up, and then one's Boris Karloff. Surprise, surprise, to literally nobody, and he heals her. And then he makes him do his handwriting. The captain makes him do the handwriting. He's like, oh, look at the other side. Flips it
Yeah,
over.
that matches.
It matches. And then we cut to Baxter, Dr. Baxter, and he's holding it. What the fuck was this? What the fuck was this?
Was this a
That
true
sucked.
story? Was this not a true
I don't
story?
care.
In 100 years, we may not know. Or maybe we will. But that's another story for another
I'm always a sucker for stuff about ghost pirates, but most of the time I'm disappointed. I always think it's
Well,
going to be
what
good.
the
It
fuck?
never is.
What the fuck did you think was going to happen in this episode? Fucking,
I don't know, man.
fucking ghost pirates from Pirates of the Caribbean technology going to jump on the boat and kill everybody, and then
No,
the giant
it's not
squid's going to come
Not the
down.
special effects. I like the stories, like the We'll talk about that when we get to the fog, but
The Flying Dutchman.
no, not the Flying Dutchman. Just like ghost stories. I think the coastal shit. I always find it like interesting. Like just
What's your
sea stories, ghost ship stuff. I always find it interesting.
What's your
This
favorite-
had none of that in it.
what's your favorite Gabriel Byrne movie?
He's done Ghost Ship. So he's part of that.
Wow. Lost for words for this.
Hmm.
Nothing happened.
What was your
I
what?
don't
What
even
what's
feel
your
like we can
scores?
rate it.
What's
I
your
guess all we
score?
have left to do is do our scores and get the fuck out of here. This is
Yeah.
going to be as long as the episode is. 2.
Yeah, 2 for me.
I will give it a 3, just for that telephone segment alone.
Even though it turns out that's the actual show it belongs to.
Yes,
This
made
is
no
an
sense.
You, sir, are easily amused.
I love that. That was great.
This is not technically an episode of The Veil.
No,
They put it on there, and now it's a part of it forever.
this is false advertisement. I'm
Like
suing.
the herpes of that show. I don't know.
Can you believe that a whole show spawned out of this, Phoenix? A whole TV show spawned out of this bullshit. What a strange world.
There's only Oh man, there's more than I thought. 11 episodes plus this is 12.
Whoa. Let me get your math on that one. 11 plus 1. He's right.
You get it? Okay. Do we need to call Baxter? Turns out it's the second highest rated episode because Jack the Ripper is a 7.7.
I should have picked that one. That probably would have just sucked too. But I don't know.
They all would have sucked.
It would have been equally boring.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not going to feel bad about picking this because how the fuck I know? You know?
You could. All you gotta do with these episodes, you do this.
Seriously, it would have been
All
the
you can
same
do.
outcome. Any one
All
of these
you
I
can
would have
do.
picked out would have been the same fucking outcome.
You don't trust the score. You don't trust the synopsis
No.
because it ain't going to be either
No.
one of those.
There's no getting around it.
I think in the actual episodes, Boris Karloff replaces Dr. Baxter, and he's the kind of the narrator.
I would assume so.
Well,
Dick,
what could you do?
guess what?
I need to pick next week's episode.
Yep.
All right, let's do it. Spin the wheel.
All right, tell me.
Spin that wheel.
Stop.
Really?
Stop.
Okay. Tell me when to spin.
Spin.
Oh, hold on. Let me go full screen.
Spin. Stop.
I can't.
Spin.
R.L. Stein show.
Yes. Oh, nice. That's
Our
awesome.
first kitty show, though.
I'm excited. It can't be any worse or less boring than this.
Oh no, we said that before about some other things.
No,
Hey,
this will be in color.
Dick chose R.L. Stein's The Haunting Hour from 2010.
It might actually have
I-
some computer graphics in it.
I did not choose this. It chose me.
I didn't land on Plymouth. Okay.
The Anthology Life chose you.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's a show we've never done. And after that, we get to do a Creep Show episode. And then we're on our own for pick whoever the fuck we want. So this
That'll
is
be fun.
one of the wheel ones. So, hey, not bad. We can put the wheel away for 5 weeks now.
You can shove that wheel up your ass for 5 weeks. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Bury it!
If I could, I would.
Send it to hell!
Seal it in a sarcophagus and bury it in the sand for 4,000 years.
You're Hitler.
Brendan Fraser's ancestors will find it.
Brendan Fraser.
Stir
in
the hung
Broken
die.
Bones. I can't act anymore because every bone in my body's broken.
Oh, man.
And I'm still healing from the Tomb of the Emperor. With Jet Li, he really kicked my ass. Like, really, he broke it in two.
Yeah. I saw that in a theater.
I did too. It was horrible.
My mom is a big fan of the Mummy franchise, and I don't like any of the sequels, and I was dragged to all of those.
Well, thank you. Oh, were the Scorpion King? We dragged that one too?
Yes, I was.
Because I would say the Scorpion King is probably better than Tomb of Emperor.
I love the original. I still watch it, but all the sequels.
What about the sequels to Scorpion King?
Yeah, there you go. There's a
They
whole other
have-
wheelhouse.
They have different wrestlers standing in
Yeah,
front.
they don't even have The Rock in the sequels. They
Isn't
just
John
have some other
Cena the
guy.
Scorpion at one point?
No.
The Scorpion King isn't John
He's
Cena?
in the new Fast and the Furious movies replacing The Rock.
Oh, that movie's getting bad reviews.
Of course. It
I'll
looks
give
like-
you a hint. It's
No, I
not
mean, like-
Kevin Sorbo.
Oh shit, he's Cole Conqueror. And Hercules in my heart of hearts forever.
Please.
He's the only Hercules in my head.
Scorpion King.
And did you hear about the Batman?
Dave
The late-
Bautista.
Oh God, of course he'd be in that.
Holy shit, there's 4 of them. There's 4
Yeah, there's a lot.
movies.
Yeah, all straight to video.
5. Oh, that's a video game. Never mind. So it's 4
Oh.
movies. So it's Dave Bautista
Wait, the-
3. 2 is Michael
gonna say-
Keaton.
If
Four
you
is-
saw the Mummy Returns, then you saw The Rock as a PS2 graphic in the very
Yes,
end
you
of the
did.
movie.
Yeah, those are all terrible. I don't like any of those movies.
I don't hate
Well,
Mummy
I like the
2.
first one.
I didn't like the first one.
I did.
I'm
I
more of
liked
a fan of the
first
second
It's
one
fun.
than the first one. I don't know why.
The sequels are trash.
Oh, they're all trash. They're
I don't need
shit.
any of it. I don't give a shit about
Steven Summers is like the worst director.
Oh, you don't
writer
like his
ever.
G.I. Joe movies?
Yeah, he's one of the worst.
Hey, we
I
saw, what's it called in theaters?
Rise of Cobra?
No,
Van Helsing.
Yeah, Van Helsing. We saw
That's
that.
another
God,
one of
I
his
saw Van
epic,
Helsing,
his
yeah.
epic masterpieces.
That's a great movie.
So I guess,
his tribute to the old monster classics.
Well, for G.I. Joe, he told Sienna Miller, "Look, your tits aren't usually the size that I like for my actors, so we're gonna have to bring those up." So he forced her to put a bunch of padding on her titties for a lady. What was her name in the movie? Scarlet? No,
Lady J.
no, not Lady J. It's the Baroness.
Scarlet. Yeah.
Baroness.
Okay.
Baroness. Yeah.
Pretty much vaginal, yeah.
Yeah. But have you heard what happened to Batman
No.
with Robert Pattinson? It's a fucking mess. I guess news just came out today. I mean, no, it's bad. Like, it's bad.
Like Richard Stanley bad?
It's going to be worse. It's going to be the most
Yes.
It's going to be the most expensive movie ever made. The budget already is north of $400 million, and they have to reshoot.
Oh, no. Warner Brothers just can't fucking stop doing this shit, man.
Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson, and even Matt Reeves. I guess there was this big screening.
Isn't it Pattinson?
Yeah, it is. Pattinson.
Why do you keep saying Patterson?
Robert Pattinson. But I guess there was a screening, and they showed what they had, and the executive, like everybody, Warner was like, "What the fuck is this?" And Matt Reeves said, "Look, I told you, Patterson's got to go," because I guess he didn't want to work out for the part. He is skinny. He got sick. He got COVID. They had shut down production the first time, and then I guess he knocked up Zoe Kravitz because she's pregnant.
Fuck?
And they're saying she's pregnant, so they have to delay the shoots till after her pregnancy. So if they have to shoot, they have to wait a year. So they are fucked. Unless they put her head on someone else's titties.
It's gonna be cheaper.
It'd be cheaper. I mean, it's bad.
You know,
it's real bad.
Warner Brothers needs to just stop doing DC movies. Just fucking quit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just fucking quit.
Allegedly.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Allegedly, this all happened.
Long get sued. Matt Reeves he knows how to make movies too.
No, Mary's a good director.
Yeah.
I love those Planet of the Apes movies. They're great.
Yeah, I was excited for the Batman movie, but now I guess it's a mess. It's not good.
I told you, part of the problem with that is it's been too soon since the last Batman disaster fiasco. And there's not okay, I'm sorry, there are, but there's not enough people saying, we need another Batman movie. Yeah. Because after the last 2 or 3, I'm like, I'm done. I was pretty much done after The Dark Knight. I love The Dark Knight. Doesn't need to make another one after that. That was the best one.
I would say, take 10 years off. Like, just leave it alone.
Dark Knight Rises was okay. The Dark Knight was the best one.
I kind of like Dark Knight Rises more. I enjoy it more.
Do you?
I don't think it's as good of a movie as Dark Knight, but I enjoy watching it more.
But all 3 of those had something going for them. They were refreshingly different from what they've been doing.
I think Kevin Smith made the best point about Dark Knight Rises, because I don't think they cared for it as much, but they said about the movie, goes, who would have thought we would live in a day and time in movies where Talia al Ghul was the villain in a Batman movie? Like, who would have thought that would ever happen? And he's right. Like, that is like such an odd choice of a villain, but because in the comics she's great, and she has Damian Wayne, Batman's son, who's in the comics now as Robin, and he'll be Batman. He replaces Batman eventually, I guess. That's the idea. But he's kind of psychotic.
The problem is they made Batman cool again, and then Zack Snyder came in and ran it right the fuck back into the dirt again.
Yeah.
So.
And Zack Snyder, you hear him talk, he's got to have the fucking brain of a child. He's kind of retarded.
Well, he made a movie called Army of the Dead. I mean,
MOON spells Army of the Dead.
I read the plot of Army of the Dead. I'm like, they're stealing $200 million from Vegas during the zombie. What the fuck? Why?
Well, it's not even. I guess it's not even a zombie apocalypse. The zombies were just trapped in Vegas. That's like the zombie zone. So Vegas is blockaded off from the rest of the world.
They have all that money.
It sounds like something written by 12-year-olds.
It does.
Okay?
Zack Snyder wrote
juvenile as fuck.
Zack Snyder wrote the script.
That does sound like a 12-year-old.
Yeah, and I guess if you watch Red Letter, they say it's essentially aliens ripoff.
Yeah,
It's
they
the
showed
plot-
side by side
Yeah.
clips and
Aliens.
right down to the
Oh,
costume
no.
designs and everything.
I haven't
It's
watched their
ridiculous.
review because I haven't watched the movie yet. I don't watch their
Well,
review.
yeah. Now that I've watched the review, I know that I never need to watch.
I
or
won't
read
watch
that.
Unless it's a Terminator movie, in which case I'll watch the reviews first because they're not going to ruin the movie for me.
I'm not.
The
No,
movie,
I
the movie's
watched
got
the-
it. The movie can. handle
Oh, I saw Quiet. What's it called? Quiet Place 2. Fucking great.
You know what's funny?
I
Is
haven't seen the first one yet.
I keep seeing
Good.
reviews.
They're good.
Everyone I know and respect is like solid movie. They don't say much about it. Just enjoy it. Go watch it.
Yeah.
Everyone that's really dumb just goes hated it, skip it, and I'm like,
Yeah, they're
right,
an
we're
idiot.
seeing a trend here.
It's the first time I've seen a set up and payoff in a script in a long time.
oh wow,
I was like, oh shit, that's set up and payoff.
I recognize that character.
I know that.
I
know what
remember
that
that
means.
back in the 80s. We used to have that in movies.
When they cared about scripts.
Was that a Themi?
Thama?
I can't remember how to say it anymore.
What's it?
Remember
Oh
back
my-
when we used to make movies that
Damn it.
weren't designed to be franchises?
Oh my god, this movie has a point.
A
It was
point
good.
of
And
view
it
and
was
a
actually
point.
it was very good. It was very, very good. Because I don't really care for those movies, and I saw the first one was on Amazon. Because like when it came out in theaters, it went like direct to Amazon like 2 weeks later. So I was like, oh, I'll watch that. It's brand new. So I was like, oh, that's pretty good. And the second one's actually solid. It's a good, and Cillian Murphy's in it, and he's great. It's solid. It's a solid movie. It's totally worth watching. And I didn't even say anything about it. Didn't spoil it for anybody,
I appreciate it.
which I would if I could. But you
So
have
what
to see
the-
the first one.
What the fuck is scary about A Veil? The show that we were reviewing was called The Veil.
Well,
And,
it's supposed to be pulling back the veil is the more the idea, not.
But it's telephone
Oh.
time.
No, yeah, I'm just saying, like, Adam. I'm answering Adam's question.
Yes, the veil.
God bless you for trying.
The death shroud, the death veil.
Yeah, they're pulling
Okay.
it back
The
to
veil.
show you what's behind it.
What's behind the veil? It's Marlon Brando with what?
This is
makeup on.
up there with like suspense.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what it is.
Well, the good news is next time we choose an episode of the Veil, we'll actually watch an episode of the Veil, not a fucking telephone, not a Bell telephone.
You say that. I don't believe
It's not
it.
going to be good.
I think they're going to work some
What?
telephone bullshit in there anyway. They'll find a way to work it into the script.
Girl on the Road sounds fun. A young man helps a beautiful young woman who is stranded by the side of the road. Her car's gas tank empty. Yeah, well, I assume so. He drives her to town to get gas. And what a
Bored
bartender!
already.
This next line is talking about how the bartender calls someone.
Even the synopsis is putting me to sleep. Shit.
Oh, this one sounds.
Can we get out of here?
This one's got more of a
Let's get
plot.
outta here.
The two sons of a dying farmer quarrel over the will. All right. Then it turns into some Bible shit. All right. Until next time. In the meantime, I'm Phoenix West.
Yeah, I'm
Awesome.
Wilcox.
That's Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat. Check it!
So long, citizens. So long, Boris Karloff, you dead fuck.
Cocksucker!
I
Bye.
expected better from you.
You don't deserve to smell my shit!
Thank you for fitting that in.
Yeah, I'll put that in.
All right.
Now, there's something I want to watch again. Ed Wood.
Boris
Edward's
Karloff
great.
smelling Bela Lugosi shit.
I'm sorry that I didn't watch it when it came out. I watched it later after I heard Red Letter Media talking about it, and I was like, "Oh,
really?
This actually is a good movie."
Oh, yeah, no, I saw that. I saw that when it came out in video because I had
Yeah.
no idea. It never came out in theaters where I was, because I was in 1994. My theaters in that day and age, oh, fuck it. You'd never find it.
I wasn't
No.
always into bad movies. That was something I grew into when I got older.
No.
It's my thing now.
No, yeah.
Well, I just like movies in general. I'll watch anything. I like
Oh
everything.
yeah, I'll sit through anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I sat through Black Christmas and didn't walk out, and I wanted to walk out really bad on that one.
Show. That's on HBO Max. It keeps calling my name.
Fuck, you will not be the same once you watch that.
And so's Inside Number 9 that keeps calling my name too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
I
God
think
damn.
every time I-
Phoenix watched Black Christmas.
Every time I turn on HBO Max, I end up watching Rick and Morty.
That's a good idea.
That's as far as I get. And I'm like, I don't need to watch this Hollywood bullshit. I'll watch Rick and
I've
Morty.
watched all the theatrical release movies except the Kong movie. I didn't watch that or Tom and Jerry. because I don't give a fuck about Tom and Jerry, and I don't really give a shit about King Kong versus
I can
Godzilla.
save you. I can save you 2 hours of watching Black Christmas right now. All you need to know is the penis is evil.
Oh no, yeah, I know. I've heard your
My rants,
your
my
rants
endless
on Black
rants about
Christmas
that
for a
fucking
long
movie.
time.
For some
The
reason,
penis is evil.
Blumhouse is doing this black goo equals evil, so it goes into Fantasy Island and Black Christmas. I don't know why. I don't know why they're doing.
I think they're trying to make a cinematic universe around Black Goo.
the Black
I think that's good.
Universe. What are they going to call it?
That's like their Infinity Stone, you know.
So is Vera Farmiga going to have black goo all over her in the next Conjuring movie?
Probably, yeah. There's always black goo to explain magic. It's just
The nun.
It's flubber. It's evil flubber, is what it is. It's just black goo.
I'm telling you, I want to write the script for the true story of the Warrens, where they're fucking total frauds.
Oh yeah,
I would love that. I would love to see that movie.
man, that'd be fun.
And he's
They
just
did that for the last one.
Oh,
Those are all bullshit, by the way.
he's just a lie. He's a liar.
Fuck it.
He
Let's make that movie. Let's make that movie. I'll work on it with you. I don't know shit about movies, but
lecherous fuck.
you can
It'll be
teach me. I'll
fun.
learn.
Is if they had the foresight to, when they shot the movie, shoot the real, like literally the real version of the scene that they're shooting, where it's like, all right, now shake the table, and it's like them prompting other people and like faking it, and then in the last movie, they show the real story, and it's like all the fake scenes from the previous movies.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Well, no, yeah, I'm telling you, I want to do it. I'll talk to Perry. Let's make that movie.
You could do it just without
do
the
it.
special effects. Just
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not an expensive idea.
What's the name of that fucking movie? Because I used to kind of like those when they came out, even though I knew they were a bunch of fucking phonies. I just thought
The
movies were
Conjuring?
fun. The Conjuring, the devil made me do it, or some shit like
That's
that.
the
Is that
new
what
one.
they
That's
call it?
coming out. That's coming out this July.
What a dumb
It's-
name. Who
but
the
it's
fuck
get-
thought that up?
I guess that the reviews for it are strong. They're
Well,
saying
that's
it's
good
like,
because I like the
yeah.
first two. Yeah, the first two
no,
are great.
Those
They're
aren't
not bad movies. I like the
they're
Conjuring
pretty good.
movies. They're
They're
well
way
done.
better than the Insidious movies.
And Insidious isn't that bad either. I don't mind.
And I kind
Insidious.
of like those. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Conjurings are definitely better though.
They're all
stronger.
James
Yeah.
Wan-ian.
Yeah.
better performances and shit.
Yeah, I think James Wan is the new king of horror, and he deserves it. He's a good
Hey,
director. horror
you
director.
watch the movie Old, and you tell me who's the new king of horror again.
I saw that trailer, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
I laughed at the title.
Oh my god!
No, he can't name a movie to save his fucking life.
Children are not allowed on the beach. What? Children are not allowed on the beach? Oh
What?
god!
This morning they were 8 years old.
Another 75. I was like, what?
Adam, have you seen the trailer yet for Old?
Yeah, no. It's
During the
it's-
commercial break, we're
yes.
gonna go. I'm gonna go to the bathroom here. Watch the trailer for Old and try not to laugh.
It's
Oh, okay.
ridiculous.
Let's change shows and let's go over to John Frankenheimer.
John Frankenheimer, yay.
Well, should we talk about the Frankenheimer movie or the Stanley movie first?
Frankenheimer.
All right, fine. You already got your graphic made.
I already have.
Or you could
so much
just
in the
just
works.
weave the two together and
No.
make it one episode.
How about
That's
you
true
both?
too,
How about you both shut the fuck up?
because that's a long time to talk about two different things.
Not really. We're briefly going to touch on the documentary.
You say this.
All
It's
right.
called They Live Too.
What the fuck is this?
All right.
Wanna go to the
I'm going to go to the bathroom.
All right.
I'm so tired of this pretentious family banter that they inject into everything.
The goofy father stuff.
Yes.
Oh, I got to plug this in. Hold on.
This can't be serious. Oh god, that's why. It's Shalamalama Ding Dong. Yeah, you know he sucks, right? body has decomposed.
Everyone has a thick accent.
Are these New Zealanders?
No, her accent is definitely not New Zealand. I don't know where the fuck she's from. She's got to be European.
No. When are these trailer makers going to figure out that scary noises don't work on me?
The second you represent 200 million people.
Oh. Is the whole thing going to take place on the beach then?
It looks like it.
No, you can do it.
He goes, hey, it was all this morning.
You're starting to have wrinkles.
Oh no! When the dad goes, oh, it made me laugh so fucking hard. Because then there's that music scene that Adam's talking about. Oh,
So there's no fucking way they can reverse
someone
that.
needs to put Shyamalan down like a lame dog. They need to just shoot him.
did you finish it?
They need to put the veil over Shyamalan.
Once they
Oh
show
my
the title
God.
at the end, old. I'm like, oh, come on.
Should have just stopped a long time ago. God, that was rough. That was rough.
Twist! Twist! Twist!
Twist! Twist! We got a twist here! See, nobody cares.
His last movie should just be called Twist, and it's about himself, like
He's
getting
not
into
really
a
a
Shyamalan
director.
twist.
He just hires people to do his stuff for him.
You gotta read that book about him that portrays him in not a very nice light.
No, there's a
Yeah.
book. I mean, why?
Well, back
You
back
don't
when he was
say.
popular, back when he was just king of the world, when he was still making huge hits.
I can see him on the edge of the Titanic going, I'm the king of the world!
Oh, his
I
ego!
so
is-
picture him doing
his
that.
ego rivals Jim Cameron's ego.
Oh, God, really?
Like, he's like he thinks he's a genius, and he thinks
Recording the podcast now. Continue. Sorry.
Okay, talking about M. Night Shyamalan.
The only reason I started recording is I want to briefly tell the story. I talked about it on Things That Burn in Hell. Is when we went to see what movie did we see? The Village together.
Yes,
And you told me before we went. You knew
Oh, that's
this
right,
movie
yeah.
Was that everyone outside the community was black? And I thought you were serious because you told me like 3 times on the way there, and I'm like, what? And I was like, M. Night is a fucking douchebag. Of course, that's what it's going to be. So the whole time I'm waiting, and then they show him. He's the first person she meets outside the community. I'm like, not black, but you know. And I'm like, oh, he's
You
wrong.
were
But,
really thinking that the whole time.
but I was like, it's going to be modern time, but they're all black. And like, and then I'm waiting. I'm like, oh, you dick.
That's pretty
good.
clever.
That's a pretty good joke, man. I like
That's a
that.
good one. I like that one.
You like your own jokes?
My 2004 brain was really overtime.
You weren't trying to convince me either. You were like, making a
No.
joke, but you made it like 4 times on the way there. And
Oh
then
no, that's what it's about. I
No,
swear
no.
to God, that's what it's about.
You kept going. I talked to some guy, and he said they're all black. I was like, oh, because you spoiled so many fucking movies for me. And I just was like, oh, he's ruining another one. Here we go. Yeah, that's the island or the village.
The Village. Just
We're just talking about the movie Old. Adam just watched the trailer, and he wants to go see it. I know he's excited.
no, but the book. I don't know if you can find the book though. It's called. I think it's called The Man Who Talked to Ghosts. And it's
Speaking of
about M. Night
movies you
Shyamalan.
never see on Blu-ray, The Village.
That's not. Yeah, you can't find it on Blu-ray.
Never
It's not-
anywhere ever.
Good.
Nope, hasn't been released on Blu-ray. Nope.
Good. Even
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix won't talk about that movie.
I'm not there.
No.
This is a guy that'll talk about,
Did you get the reference?
cow's
Adam?
milk on his fucking.
I'm not there. I got it. Sorry, go ahead.
I
2004
saw
brain
that
still
movie.
works.
That movie hurt my soul.
Speaking of hurting your soul, Island of Dr. Monroe.
The Island of Dr. Moreau. I've been
hurt
looking
your-
forward to this.
Hurt your feeble human soul, which we found out does not exist in the heart.
Which is chemicals and
Well,
all
let me-
kinds of things.
Let me ruin this
Intros.
because I also watched the 1977 version of this movie today. I did a lecture homework because it's way fucking better. That's why.
Well, the one with Burt
No,
Lancaster.
Way better.
It sucks too.
Burt-
that
Burt
movie sucks
Lancaster?
too.
It doesn't suck. It's
I wanted to like it. Okay, all right. There's one redeeming quality, and that's the Sayer of the Law, played by Richard Basehart. Other than that, nothing. Not a fucking.
You know what?
thing.
It had a story, or a linear story that I could follow. This
Okay,
this I'm about right now,
I'll give you that.
I'm Phoenix West.
I'm Adam Wilcox.
Am I man, or am I Dick Dickett?
Unfortunately, you are both.
Yes.
Today we watched, or yesterday I watched.
But I'm more beast.
For LIW John Frankenheimer review episode 4, his least quality, his least revered movie, The Island of Dr Morrow from
It
1993.
was for money. It was for money. He was on the end of his career, going downhill. This was all for money. So good for him.
Hold on, Adam. We are fulfilling our obligation finally for B Movie Battle 1 or 2, where this movie won. So we're finally getting this out of the way. Adam, go ahead.
No, what I want to know is, since you're the John Frankenheimer resident expert,
Not an expert.
he did this movie for a 3-picture deal. Like, he had a lot of money and a 3-picture deal. He fumbled his way through it just to get it done, put it to bed, put a bow on it, wrap it up, didn't give a shit, okay? What 3 movies did he finance by doing this? Do you know?
It must have been, well, I think he only lived for 2 of them that were theatrical, because Ronin, Reindeer Games.
So Ronin was one of them, because I was thinking that it must have been Ronin, because Ronin came out not too terribly long after this one.
Yeah, but these weren't New Line releases, though.
That's what I'm.
But
Ronin is MGM, right?
Yeah.
Reindeer Games is
Dimension.
Yes.
So it's Disney.
Okay, so he just got a deal.
I don't think he lived long enough to get the deal.
Either that, or because this movie lost so much money, they said, "Hey, you know that 3-picture deal? Yoink!"
They knew it was going to lose money. They knew this was a disaster. Yeah. He was just there to finish the deal.
He was damage control. Yeah.
He got paid for it.
If we could try to just discuss this movie, we're going to discuss the documentary and all those facts after.
Right.
Fair enough. Okay. Because it's hard not to, because there's so many things with this that are just.
And if this is a short one, that's fine, and we'll talk about the documentary for a long time. That's fine. I just want to break up into 2 because they're technically 2 episodes. They're 2 different movies. But yeah, I don't know what the deal was, Adam. I'm not an expert on John Frankenheimer.
I will say this. I am a fan of H.G. Wells, but not this story. I've never been crazy about the story of the Island of Dr. Morrow. I just never thought it was that good. I thought it was kind of a little bit more juvenile than some of other H.G. Wells' other stories. I prefer War of the Worlds. I prefer Journey to the Center of the Earth. Not so much this one.
Yeah.
Because I think Mary Shelley's Frankenstein is better.
He did the Time Machine too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I love. I love the Time Machine.
2000?
That's 2002. That George Pell Time Machine movie needs to have a proper Criterion release, because that's a wonderful fucking flick. I love it. It's aged well.
It's a good one.
I like the way it's put together. It's got good music in it.
It's
a good story. Yeah, a good everything. Yeah.
H.G. Wells.
Robert Taylor.
One thing people never talk about with his stuff, his books, is there are a lot of rip-offs of his stuff. A lot of B movies that are just rip-offs of H.G. Wells.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and Philip K. Dick and
Isaac
Asimov. And
Isaac Asimov, too.
Lots of people have been ripped off. It's Hollywood. They'll rip anybody off. They don't give a fuck.
So
good night, everybody.
This movie, I have never seen a version of this. I saw this movie in probably '97 when it came to.
I've never seen this movie ever. I've never watched it. This is the first time I ever watched it.
I remember I was in the military when I saw this. Bad. Yeah, I was in the Navy when I saw this.
I've never seen this movie
theaters. In a theater, went in the theater, and I saw this, and I think I saw The Phantom the same year.
Oh my god!
Remember that, Billy Zane?
Yeah.
That came out the year after, though.
Was it the year after? Okay.
97.
The theater that I went to, we used to be able to drink in that theater. I always get fucking sloshed when I was watching these things.
Drink in every theater.
Do you drink in a theater to enjoy a film, or to drink away the idea of the film is just total nonsense?
That's a fantastic Brando impression. I love it.
Just in this movie, not even it's Brando's. This movie, Brando, because he doesn't talk about any other movie.
No.
It's just this movie. Yes, I remember. Don't do that. Take your foot down. Take your foot down.
Okay. Problem number one with this movie. There is absolutely no structure whatsoever. Like the movie's about Dr. Moreau. We have no backstory on this guy whatsoever. Nothing is earned. There's no setups. There's no payoffs. No structure whatsoever. There's literally no setup for who Dr. Moreau even is. If you were to go into this blindly, not knowing anything about the story, you would be so confused if you walked out of this. And even if you do know the story, you'd still be confused when you walk out of this.
I think the problem that I noticed with this movie, you knew something was wrong when 46-minute mark, it goes into voiceover. And I was like, oh,
yeah,
shit.
I was thinking that too. It's like,
That's
okay,
odd.
movies
do
with narration, if you're going to have narration in a movie, you need to be like Shawshank, and it needs to be consistent through all scene changes throughout the entire movie. You can't just bring it in when it's convenient for the plot.
Well, that's exactly why. Because they had to. Yeah.
It's the beginning, the middle, and the end.
Because there's room for it in the beginning. Like, I was kind of thinking there was going to be.
I was kind of into it at the beginning. Yeah, because that actually filled in more story than most of this movie fucking does with the voiceover. But then they just stop. And it's like, and now we're just going to go to grunts and... You know, it's like this movie's just a series of things happening. There's absolutely zero tension in this movie whatsoever, except there's one scene that has a little bit of tension, and that's the scene where Marlon Brando wakes up in the middle of the night. He's got a big old fucking plate of fucking food he's going to shove down his fat fucking throat, all right? And the animals come into the house.
He was like microwaving
that was a good scene.
burritos.
That was a good scene, but it's too short, and it's the only kind of scene that we get like that in this whole movie. If they would have had more scenes like that, then this movie might have had something going for it. But it just descends into chaos and shit blowing up and stuff happens.
Hyena, would you like a chimichanga? Hyena, please. Have a chimichanga.
Would you like a gordita?
They are quite delightful, delicious.
Marlon Brando is a gordita in this.
I'm going to play you a song by the great Chopin. Oh, wait, no.
He never even explains what he's doing on the island. It's just, he does something with gene therapy in animals and humans, and they never explain why he does what he does.
How unexplained everything is. I had to look up, is he experimenting on animals or humans? I didn't know which way they were going. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, he was
like at least when
them.
you see Reanimator, Herbert West, he's a genius, but he also likes to goof around with his fucking experiments too. You know what I mean? Like, they set that up properly. This doesn't do any of that.
Let me play a clip from this movie.
Cool.
No
matter what it is, it's going to be wonderful. There we go.
Wait. No. I know what you did there.
I'm pretty sure this is the right clip.
Yeah, this is close.
Yep, this is it. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
This is exactly the movie.
And he's doing like Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
I used to be subscribed to Vernon. I actually still subscribe because I don't have the heart to unsubscribe from, but I was subscribed to Vernon Troyer's YouTube channel.
Why?
All he did on his YouTube channel is people would send him shit and he would open it up. And it was fucking a delight to watch him open it.
He's a notorious piece of shit in real life. You know that, right?
Vernon Troyer?
So was that little midget fucking freak monster in Island of Dr. Morrow.
the little guy. Yeah.
When you're a freak, you're a freak. It's just, it goes with the territory.
There's a video. He was on Celebrity Rehab, Vernon Troyer was, and he's riding around in like a tricycle and pissing all around the house.
Because he's a drunk midget. He's not even a midget. He's beyond midget. He's like 32 inches tall. He's like 10 inches taller than this freak show in Island of Dr. Morrow.
Yeah, that guy's like 17 inches tall.
Is he dead? He's got to be dead.
Vernon Troyer.
Yeah.
They're both dead.
Vernon Troyer's dead. They're both dead.
Yeah, Vernon Troyer's dead. The guy whatever that guy is, the Dominican Republic guy.
I love him. He's going to be.
He's going to be in every scene. Yeah.
I don't like that I searched Vernon Troyer. Vernon Troyer is a huge asshole and found Vernon Troyer anal on xvideos.com. Why is that one of the top searches?
Well, you typed in asshole and Vernon Troyer, so of course that's going to be a search result.
Well, you're going to have to click on that now to know what's going on.
Google knows what you like, Phoenix. It remembers.
I want you to. I tried to
Pepperidge Farm
splice.
remembers.
I
Google
tried to
remembers.
splice Ventroya's asshole to a donkey's mouth, and it did not quite work.
Here's how small he is. I found a picture of him with the guy from the midget from Jackass,
Oh shit!
and it is like night and day.
Oh my god! Look at that.
Yeah.
That's frightening. I mean, what are you going
But,
to do?
yeah.
You're for Troy. You fucking have a happy life.
No,
It's just.
You're cursed by God.
oh, here's him.
What is the story of the
rehab.
Island of Dr. Moreau? So David Thewlis just
not a
goes to an
restroom,
island.
Oh,
All right.
David Thewlis goes to an island and shit just happens.
He gets-
And he
His
leaves.
plane goes down. He's on there with two other people. In this version, those two other people fight and kill each other, and they fall off the raft and they drown. In the 77 version, one of them dies. And it reminded me a lot more of Planet of the Apes. The other one lives, and he gets to the island, sets him down, and he gets eaten by something. But that's the reason David Thewlis is there. Is plane goes down, gets rescued by Montgomery
Val Kilmer.
on his ship, and he pulls him aboard, saves him, takes him to the island.
super asshole Val Kilmer.
Only interesting thing in this entire movie, though.
He does do a good job in this movie. Say what you will.
He's
I
having a
think
good time. Yeah.
he is having a good time when he's kissing. When he's giving the pill to those pig women. He's just like, oh, here you go, baby. Yeah, okay. Here's yeah, that's great. He's like David Thewlis. All right. So when I watch this movie, I do what I do sometimes. I'll combine movies and make them quasi sequels. So this is Rox Harrington, the video artist from the Big Lebowski, because it's David Thewlis. This is what happened to him before Big Lebowski. This is why he's the way he is in Big Lebowski. He's seen some shit.
Adam, just check out.
I was thinking this was a different sequel. This is a really bad sequel to Apocalypse Now, where actually Colonel Martin Sheen doesn't leave the island. He just stays there and becomes doesn't kill Marlon Brando and just stays there and becomes this drugged out toady. Yeah,
He becomes Val Kilmer. Yeah.
because
does he
there's so
become-
much.
Does he
There's so
become
many
Tamura
eerie
Morrison?
similarities to this and Apocalypse Now that it's depressing. Actually,
Well, you know why? You know why?
yeah,
Yeah,
It's from the documentary. They explain that.
yeah, we'll get to
And
that.
you'll get
which
to
we're
that.
not
'cause
allowed to talk about.
Yeah.
See what I mean? These are gonna constantly
this
overlap.
would dovetail into that. But
They're
Cut
gonna
off your
overlap.
fucking dovetail. We'll save the tail for later.
Because I'm sorry, the making of this movie is far more interesting than this fucking movie itself.
That's why I
Yeah.
said if this is 20 minutes, it's fine. We're already at 15.
no, so basically the plot is David Thewlis gets on this island. There's a bunch of wacky animal shit going on. Now they never really get the point across that there's like a civil war on the island. It just does not like it's hinted, but it's never really explored because he
It's
just didn't have time to
glossed
do
over
it.
in the cheapest way possible. Yeah.
And they had the one guy who was the leader of the animal people who thought they were animals. They were embracing their true nature. Hyena. It wasn't a hyena. It was the other guy. It was a cheetah guy. What was the cheetah guy's name?
Cheetahman.
Was it Cheetahman?
John-
Ivan
His name,
Cheetahman.
actually.
Hello, my name is Ivan Cheetahman. I'm a cheetah. Look what happened to me. Oh my
Hey,
God.
This is a busy year for John Frankenheimer.
Cheetah Stone.
He did
Yeah.
Andersonville and this movie in the same year. That's crazy.
The Moreau. What's going on over here?
You guys remember that when they used to
Oh,
do
yeah.
this bullshit? They used to put the fucking pan and scan on one side, then you had to flip it over, and the widescreen was
I
on
hate
the
I
other.
remember
shit.
my dad
Fucking
going,
stupid.
I paid for the whole TV. I'm watching it on the whole TV. This is flat screens. And he's like,
I hate that,
watching
yeah.
the full screen version. I'm like,
They
it was
do that
torture.
shit. We're going,
Does he have an HD TV now? Because now that works.
I
If
have
you
no
put the
idea.
widescreen movie on the HD TV, it fills up
it
the
fits
whole
the whole
fucking
screen, yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, it's
fucking
the,
magic.
What is it? 1.8,
25.
1.85, and then there's 2.35, and there's 4x3. 4x3 is when you want to get real artsy.
This is the other dumb thing they used to do. The unrated director's cut. This is the biggest fucking con job.
They still do that, yeah.
They still do this shit. This doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean a fucking thing. They can put 3 minutes of something in there and just extend a scene. But because it wasn't rated with that content, it's unrated. What a
was this version unrated? Was this version that I saw unrated? The one on the drive?
No, we just saw the regular.
No, I just decided to watch this instead of the one on the drive. Yeah.
Well, no. What's the difference, though? Is there a difference?
It's a couple scenes of like animals being cruel to each other, and that's it.
There's some really bad CG that I'm glad they pulled back a little bit for the final cut. There's a little bit more CG in this one.
That sequence with David Thewlis goes on the boat looking for the radio, and those little bat creatures show up.
Yes,
that's a little bit longer.
Yes, and it shouldn't be, because those do not look good at all. No. All right.
But I've seen that. I had that version for 15 years that Adam has, and it's so unnecessary. It's not unrated. That is trimmed off.
It's bullshit. Yeah, always been like that.
You know,
unrated.
This is the bare bones special features too. We got original theatrical trailer, international trailer, behind the scenes featurette. The cast and scene index. Ooh, scene index.
One of the few Frankenheimer movies I just don't own. I just don't. Nobody's willing to put a copy of it. Yeah, I used to.
Yeah, I like this movie for completely different reasons now. I like it because it's so bad. It's fun.
Well, is there a Blu-ray?
I believe so.
No. There probably is a Blu-ray. Yeah.
Do you think Shout Factory is going to release a special edition?
No.
Where the extra is the documentary?
I am sure you can find a really cheap European version of this movie. Okay, but let's talk about the plot of the actual movie.
Good luck with that.
What was that word you said?
Unfortunately, I used the word plot. Okay, so David Phillips shows up. Montgomery shows him around. And then he's starting to realize slowly when eventually he sneaks out one night and he walks in on Dr. Moreau doing like a weird, it's a birthing surgery almost. Well, I guess the woman was supposed to be dead and giving birth after she died, but Frankenheimer changed it so she's still alive. And she gives birth and some weird creature, and he goes out in the woods and sees a bunch of fucking creatures out there and realizes something weird's going on. The next day, Dr. Moreau eventually shows up, and he's just like wheeled out, and he looks like this. I don't know if you can see this at all, but we can't. Let's get rid of Adam. There he is.
No, we can see it.
But he's covered in white, and he's like, the sun hurts. I don't know why the fuck he's covered. He's covered in SPF 6000.
Yeah, he did that.
He looks like powder.
That was his idea. That was his idea for the character. It's always hot on this island. It's hot, so I need to put cream on my face, and I wrap myself in these rags to show me. Oh, children come to me, my children.
What's more ridiculous, Dick? This or what's his face in Rogue One? Talking like this.
That's more ridiculous.
Forrest Whitaker. Yeah, that was Forrest Whitaker's idea to talk like that. Wasn't it?
That is a huge movie, and this is. He knew nobody's gonna watch this fucking thing. He knew it.
I feel like if this one would have embraced the horror angle, it might have actually went somewhere. It would have maybe been a little bit more interesting than what we got. You know,
I think at the end of the day, this movie would have failed either way. No, this is not. Yeah. General audiences are not going to go see an H.G. Wells adaptation of Dr. Monroe. It's just not going to happen.
No.
It ain't going to happen again. That's for damn sure.
Well, no. And these movies never do that great. And horror movies in general never do that great.
The 70s, the one that came out in the 70s, like you were saying, you're right, it does have a plot, but that movie sucks too. And that movie had Burt fucking Lancaster in it, man.
And Michael York, speaking of Austin Powers.
Michael York. I expected better from those two, and it's just so
fucking exposition.
Yeah.
He has the greatest line in history in Logan's Run.
Yeah.
When he brings in that girl.
There is no sanctuary.
No. The best line is, let's have sex. When he brings the girl into his room. Yes,
Hey,
very good. Let's have sex.
You know what? If you had Jenny Gutter at that age in front of me, you wouldn't even have to say "let's have sex." You would have had me at right
Yeah.
there. I'd be naked already. I'm like, let's go. Come
I'm
on.
ready to go.
Let's go. Come on, we're not.
Logan's Run, baby. Logan's
I
Run.
would do it in front of family members. I wouldn't even care. She was hot as hell, man.
I don't think Bryan Singer's version is ever going to come out.
Yeah, no, it's not happening. It's not happening. No, his Battlestar Galactica's not coming out. His Logan's Run's not coming out.
His court date might come out though.
His prison sentence will be convened soon.
Oh, I can't wait.
But I guess Kevin Spacey's working again.
Yeah, I saw that in overseas
as a detective on a case for pedophiles. Not making that up. That's what the movie's about.
So he's reliving 7 in a weird kind of way.
Detective!
He just has to move to France and work with Roman Polanski all the time.
Did he burn off his fingertips too so he doesn't get caught?
A woman so ugly on the inside she couldn't stand being ugly on the outside?
What's in the box?
Only in a world this fucked up would you call those innocent people. But that's the point.
Island of Dr Morrow.
Right, yeah, sure.
He gives him a gun. He makes Montgomery give him the gun here, and he's like, if he feels better with it, give him the gun. And
give him the gun.
And
no. Please no.
He pulls the gun on people. He's not going to shoot me. Fairuza Balk is in this movie for some fucking reason.
No, but the best part is later. David Thewlis has the gun like this in the movie. So I don't know if that was a conscious choice.
There's a scene of her like dancing to some fucking tribal new age shit or something, and it only goes on for about 30 seconds. And fucking Frankenheimer has the camera zoom the fuck out so we can't see that. And I'm like, that could have went on for about 2 or 3 more minutes. I'd at least upped it 1 star because I had a thing for Fairuza Balk. I think a lot of people did.
She looks pretty rough now.
Yeah.
She looked. That was 2014. Yeah, she looked rough. Oh, she looks like she's progressed. She progressed into her cat lady.
She looks like she's working as a paper shredder now.
Nosferatu. Oh God. Escape the Bronx.
So she won't be reprising her role in The Craft Part 2 anytime soon.
No, they did that already.
She is in the end of The Craft Part 2.
She really?
She is, yeah.
Did you watch that?
Yeah, she's
did.
Great in it.
Oh my God! Was that straight to video or is that a theatrical release?
I think it was theater. You know, COVID theater, but theater.
Okay.
Remember when she was Ed Norton's Nazi girlfriend in American History?
Every day.
Oh God. Well, yeah. So that scene could have went on a little longer. It didn't, and we didn't get to see much of anything. And that was the only pleasant thing in that first whole act. You know,
you're not allowed to have pleasant things in this movie.
I tell you what, though, I didn't know Tamir Morrison was in it, and I actually liked his character quite a bit.
He was the guy that was always wanting to hunt everybody, right?
Well, he was the dog that was trying to get
a butler.
He was dressed as a butler.
Dressed like a butler. That's what I thought.
Father.
It was. Okay, yeah.
Father. It's not your armor. It's my father's armor.
The other guy that was also next to him, I forget his fucking name.
He's a German.
German guy? Yeah.
German guy. Mark Dacascos.
No, Mark Dacascos is the other guy. He's a martial arts guy. Mark Dacascos is in Brotherhood of the Wolf and
a bunch
of other action movies.
They were fine.
There's.
And Marco Hofschneider, that must be him.
Hofschneider!
That's got to be him. That's
Hello!
That's him, yeah.
Yeah, that bit where he talked about Marlon Brando speaking German and he was just like fucking with him and he's just like,
can't wait till we get to that.
What the fuck? Like, what an asshole! Marlon Brando, a piece of shit. I half agree with him, but I half at the same time, what a dick! He's just an asshole.
But everybody, it sounds like even Frankenheimer is wanting to roll the red carpet out for Brent.
But because he changed his mind. You see that part in the documentary where his friend was like, he doesn't refer to him that as a genius anymore.
Save it.
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right.
God damn it.
Well, let's wrap this up. Let's talk about the rest of. Okay, I was alarmed. I've seen this movie 5-6 times.
Wow!
And every time I watch it, this is the first time I watched it in probably a decade. And I watch it and I go, "Oh, Dr. Morrow's dead! Holy shit!"
Yeah.
They just
It
revolt
never
against
gets any better. It just because like even the '70s one, Moreau is through most of the movie before he dies.
This movie does move fast. Like I'll give it that. Like they knew they were fucked.
It doesn't
So they're
drag.
just like
it's
90 minutes. We're in, we're out. We're done. Let's go.
It's
But
like
there-
90
it-
minutes almost to the second.
Yeah.
we complain sometimes about movies over-explaining things. This doesn't have enough explanation of anything. There's no setup for Moreau at all. It's impossible to care about any of these people because by the end of it, I know less about these people than when we first got to the island.
Well, you only have Marlon Brando to blame for that because he refused to read the fucking dialogue that was setting up his character. So what are you going to do?
That shit was important to a movie like this. Like how does one become what he is? I would have liked to have seen just a little bit of backstory as to how he became. Like, Apocalypse Now, painstaking details setting up who Kurtz is without ever having to show him. But it's effective. It works. Like you're reading his dossier through the whole fucking movie. So
it's like
when you get there, you know who this guy is.
Apocalypse Now, and then like right under that, like razor thin, is Island of Dr Morrow. Like quality wise, it's like so close.
It's very very close.
Backstory.
Yeah.
Crawling on the edge of a razor.
I was reading the New York Times.
The horror.
Do you?
All right, so they killed
You're
Dr.
an errand
Morrow
boy.
after he eats up several burritos, and then they take the one guy sees the burn. Oh, okay. Let me back up a couple times.
Hyena.
There's a cat creature that they think killed the rabbit, which ends up being Montgomery, but they think it's him because Fairuza Balk and David Thewlis found it, and then they blame it on him. They bring him out, and he goes, Dr. Morrow's like, I forgive you.
Yeah.
And then that, what's his name?
Tamira Murasan blows him away.
Oh, he does that cow, whatever it's called, and blows his head off. He's like, "What was that?" Like it reminded me of Jeff Goldblum in Thor Ragnarok. He's like,
yeah.
Question me, it was hardly a death sentence. Like, why are you bringing out the stick? He's like, why did you kill him? What the fuck? He's like,
why do you have the melting stick? It's my birthday.
And then kills him, and then they burn his body, and then the one other animal. I'm not even gonna fucking bother with what types of animals they are. I don't give a shit. They find the one guy finds it and is like finds the bone and sees the track, the thing that makes him, the thing that Moreau controls him with, and then he goes, yeah, and then does it to other animals. And then they go in there and while he's microwaving burritos.
Well, didn't he know? Like, fucking, okay. They make a point of Moreau seeing the blood dripping from their body. So he should know right there that they've taken out the inhibitor chip. He should know that.
I'm guessing he just thought they were injured. I don't know.
But that makes...
Again, things that are set up and not paid off.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, guys,
a lot of
you gotta
those
realize Marlon Brando had 6 microwave burritos in front of him. That's all we were thinking about.
I wanted to finish eating these, and then I was going to be eaten by the hyenas.
I will tell you something else too. Why this was doomed from the start. When you obviously Brando's ridiculously impossible to work with, but if you really wanted to sell a movie about a guy on an island, a tropical island no less, okay? Phoenix has spent time in Mississippi. I spent time in Mississippi. You spent time in Florida. I live in Florida. If you live in the tropics long enough, your ass ain't going to be that fat for much longer. You're going to sweat most of those pounds off overnight. And he's constantly complaining about the heat, and he's fat as a fucking house.
Well, he's wearing an ice bucket as a hat.
Wearing the ice bucket.
I want an ice bucket on my head. I'll put the ice on
Oh,
the head.
God, it's one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever seen in a movie. I owe the movie just for the ice bucket scene. Right? He was doing the ice bucket challenge before it was cool.
If you want to learn about fat people in a weird universe, look at Eugene on The Walking Dead. That's all I need to look at is where the fuck is he eating all this food?
Yeah.
Anyway,
doesn't that whole thing take place in like Alabama or Arkansas or some shit like that?
No, they're up further north now.
They're Atlanta, Georgia, or Georgia.
No, they were at the beginning, but now they're up in like DC.
Oh, okay. I stopped watching that show like 5 years ago.
Good call,
dude.
Yeah, I couldn't do it anymore.
The new season Not
I
too
heard
bad.
it's decent. I heard the last season's good, but I
The
don't
last
fucking.
season and this new season,
I don't
not
care.
that bad.
I don't care.
It corrected, but anyway, we're not talking about that.
No.
We're here to talk about, unfortunately, Dr. Morrow.
Actually, I'd rather talk about Dr. Moreau than Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, let's
I
do it.
Moreau's
Okay.
much more interesting than The Walking Dead.
So
after he's dead, Montgomery takes over, and he's like getting carried around in a chair, and he's throwing out the medicine, which they have to take to keep being more human. Otherwise, they revert back to animals. And he's throwing it out like, yeah.
But then they have an orgy.
He's like drunk out of his mind and stoned out of his mind. He's like, he reminded me of Jim Morrison in the Doors movie.
I think he thinks he was in that movie. Yeah, I think he still thought he was making Oliver Stone's pretentious as fuck Doors movie.
I'll do that again.
Then he's being carried. And then they set him down. He's like, I want to die like an animal.
No. He says, "Send me to doggy heaven."
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
And then the guy just goes, okay, bomb! And doesn't even like
Hello,
wait for
sir.
an explanation or I was joking. He just blows his fucking head off. I felt like
Also,
was Frankenheimer going, get Val the fuck out of here.
the
That's
weird
exactly
thing
what it
where
was.
he's mocking, like he spends about a third of the movie doing Marlon Brando impressions, which I love. I love it when he's doing those Marlon Brando impressions.
And
And
Marlon
I don't
Brando
know if that
did
was
not
in the
like
script
that.
or if he was just pissed off and making fun of Marlon Brando.
No, he was, because I remember I think it's in the IMDb trivia somewhere. It's not in the documentary, but I read somewhere that Marlon Brando was pissed every time Val Kilmer was doing that shit, and he was just like, "That's
I
not funny."
destroyed the serum. The serum. I was fucking laughing,
I
man.
destroyed it.
He does it for
I
like
destroyed
5
all
minute
of it.
scene once. He does a thing, and David Thewlis eventually goes, "Shut the fuck! Like, shut up! What are you doing?" I think that was the actor being like, "Val, shut the fuck up."
No, I think it got to
Seriously,
that
yeah.
point where
That's why the documentary on the DVD was so fucking just silly. I had to laugh at because it's like it's David Thewlis like praising Val Kilmer for how intelligent and intellectual he is, and I'm like, nah, none of that happened.
Do you think he was
None of
doing
that
it on
happened at
purpose?
all? Yeah. Oh, sure he was.
He was being an asshole. It's like him. It's his English way of being.
Yeah,
a
it is.
dickhead.
It's his English way of fucking throwing shade at shade itself.
was.
You know what I mean?
Oh, he's
That-
super intelligent. He's a wonderful
Best at
actor.
burning actors with a cigarette. He was so good at that.
No, he was burning the AC's hair. The AC who was on set. It was just the AC. He was burning the crew member's hair with a cigarette.
I
What
would
an
have knocked him
asshole.
the fuck out. I
Yeah,
don't give a
that's
shit
fucked
if I got
up.
Dude or anything.
No. But they made a good point of saying this was Val Kilmer at the height of his career because this is right after Batman Forever, which made him a superstar.
This movie effectively destroyed his career, and I'm not allowed to talk about that because that's part of the. But I have a theory that Richard Stanley did cast a fucking witch spell on Val Kilmer and just ruined his life. Because I mean, I hate to say this because I never wish anything bad on anybody, and I liked Val Kilmer in some movies, especially Tombstone, but. He's on the top of my death pool list. I don't think he's got much left in this world. If you've seen him lately, he looks like death wormed over. He's got a hole in his fucking throat where he had tracheotomy. I mean, he's a fucking mess.
Well, we talked about it previously. I was talking about my experience watching The Snowman, where I thought it was just a terrible.
I still have to see that. Yeah,
impression.
I want to.
Oh, that's Val Kilmer! Oh my god! I was like, no. They dubbed him over. He sounded
They
that
dubbed
bad.
him over. Hello, how are you? I'm Val Kilmer. Hello.
I Val. No, it was way deeper.
Well, Wolf.
Val Kilmer.
A Batman.
Oh god. All right, so Val Kilmer's dead, and then David Thewlis is trying to survive, and then all the animals are revolting against each other. It's very Planet of the Apes mixed with
Lots of explosions.
I like the context. I like the whole. Like, I think if they would have went more, I don't know why, but that interests me. It's just like these guys were creating a lab. They're trying to find their own souls, and they don't have any because they're monsters, and they're asking.
Lost them.
But they're asking, David Thewlis, who, if the master is dead, who is God? I need to be God. Make me God. And then Thewlis goes, there's only one God, but he could be God. He could be God. And he goes, and he starts shooting all of them.
You tell me I'm God. You tell me I'm God.
He could be a God.
God.
And he shoots him.
Say it louder.
I'm trying to get you to shoot your friends. I'm playing a mind game with you.
Again, these things might have been because like they say this is like one of the worst movies ever made. I don't think it's the worst.
I don't think it's
movie.
the worst. No,
it's very surface level. It's very safe, very bland, and very stale.
I've seen worse movies than this. Yeah. This is not the worst movie and one of the worst. Not even the top 10 worst. Like it's not good, but I've seen way worse.
There's worst movies, and then there's worst budget movies made by studios. That's what it is. Like,
right. This is just a famously bad production.
Transformers Revenge of the Fallen is one of the worst movies ever made. Hands down. Way worse than this. Like I couldn't
tons of fucking money too.
Couldn't sit
I saw it
through
in the theater.
It was I saw it in the theater too. I was shocked. I was like, is this going to make $1 billion? Are we this?
I was so mad I ranted all the way home from that one. Just walked right out of the theater, ranted all the way fucking home. Why did you guys see it? Because the first one was fun, and I grew up with the Transformers. The first one was a fun movie.
I saw the first one on DVD, and I was like, oh no.
So I went to go see the second one, expecting it to be at least as good as the first one, and it's just a fucking mess.
Well, they had me to the fourth one.
They just kept getting worse and worse as it went on.
They get worse. Okay. I haven't yet finished the last one. Not the Bumblebee. The Bumblebee one's supposed to be good.
Yeah, Bumblebee's pretty good. Yeah,
but the one with Anthony Hopkins, I've been trying to watch it on Amazon.
It's on Amazon now.
It was. I don't know if it is anymore because I've been trying. Is it one of those ones
where you keep falling asleep? Because
that
was extinction for me. It kept putting me to sleep.
So fucking bad. It makes you angry. It's just like I can't watch this. This is garbage. This one. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Island of Dr. Morrow didn't make me angry when I saw it in the theater. It made me go, what the fuck? But also, when we saw this, I was in the Navy, so I wasn't reading the rag magazines or keeping up with the tabloids, so I didn't really know what was going on with this movie. I didn't even know it was coming out. I didn't know who Richard Stanley was. I was aware of a movie called Hardware. I'd seen it, but I didn't know that Richard Stanley was the director. So that I didn't put that together until I was older, that he was, even connected to this, but so I was just like, well, that was a weird movie. And I thought a lot of it was just, did I drink too much at the theater when I watched this? Because I just didn't remember large chunks of it. I've probably seen it about as many times as both of you guys, and it never gets any better. It just gets progressively worse.
I've only seen it once.
My problem is the last act is just action explosions and nothing more.
Yeah. That's all it is. That's all he can do.
And then he gets away on a boat, on a little raft.
It's so Michael Bay at the end of this fucking movie.
I would say the very end, though, I did like the very end because I felt bad. Because through this, actually, there's actually really tender moments there where Thulis is actually acting and shows the other guy, where he's like, "Don't leave us, please. You must stay. You must stay. We need a leader." And I go, "No, I can't. You guys are all fucked up. I want to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
you fucking freak show. Get the fuck off me."
In the 77 version I watched, Michael York and the cat lady, get away. Then they're on the boat. They have like a bigger boat. not huge, but enough for two of them. And then the creatures are attacking them, and he has to keep beating them with sticks off there, and for like 10 minutes. It's the same one that keeps going, getting knocked off. And eventually he shoves the oar through his eye, or the stick. And she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What did you expect, bitch? She keeps attacking me." And then by the time they get rescued, she's turning into a cat.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit better because something's happening. Something's happening.
I mean, it's got structure at least. There's a middle and a beginning and an end. Whereas this Island of Dr. Morrow is just a series of things that happen for no apparent reason.
I can't tell you anything in this movie, this 96 version, that happened in the middle 20 to 30 minutes. It's all a blur.
You black out. Yeah, it's a blur because it's presented to you like a blur.
I was watching it and I'm like, oh.
I zoned the fuck out watching this too.
Oh my god, I've been watching this. Where the hell am I?
It's trance inducing. It just knocks you the fuck out. Like I haven't felt like that since I watched Batman versus Superman.
It's like living in Keanu Reeves' mind.
I'm not as happy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, what was that, dude?
Whoa.
Oh, this is great.
All right, let's end this. Scores.
Is it even necessary to do... Should we do our cast? Let's do our cast, because it seems pointless to even score this. I mean, we know this is a bad movie. I mean, I don't think we give it any higher than a 1 or a 2. I'd say 2.
I give it a 2.
Yeah. 2 is fair.
Dick's giving it a 4 for some reason.
I would.
Okay. I don't have a character for Douglas yet, an actor.
Okay, I do. I guess I'll get this out of the way. We decided earlier this afternoon that we would do our cast, like if we were going to, since this movie went through a cavalcade of different people that were going to be in it, our cast of Island of Dr. Morrow, and my cast would be Jared Leto as Dr. Moreau, Douglas would be Charlie Hunnam, Emma Watson would be Aisa, the cat lady, James Franco would be Montgomery, and Sayer of the Law would be Matthew McConaughey.
Okay.
Wow.
I can't think of anything funnier than seeing Matthew McConaughey in animal makeup to walk on all fours, to drink from the river,
To hunt the flesh.
to hunt the flesh. These
All right. That's the law of the land. Okay, now.
Yeah.
Okay, I just filled in my last role. Okay, for me, I'm gonna go Douglas, the man who arrives on the island and is sent around. I go with Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Okay.
This
bring
is
him
my
back from the
all-time.
Okay.
I have a couple dead people on my list. You're gonna realize this is like
no.
my dream casting here.
Okay.
The woman, the cat lady, would be Lily from AT&T.
Nice.
Wait, the one with the big ass titties?
Oh yeah,
One with the big boobies.
yeah. For Montgomery, I'm gonna go with Gary Busey, of course.
Yes.
Nice.
Sarah the Law, going with Phil Hartman, as he can do it as what's his name, Troy McClure. And then for Dr. Moreau, I'm gonna go with Paul Rubin.
Paging Mr. Herman.
Wow.
Mr. Herman,
Well,
you have
speaking
a
of that-
telephone call at the front desk.
It's funny that you said that because I said Paul Rubens as Dr. Moreau.
Mm.
Nice.
So that's what I want to see. Just a weird
Yeah.
cast and see how the fuck it works out. It can't be any worse. I just want to see Gary Busey as Montgomery.
I almost hate to say this, but I feel like this movie needed to be a little longer to just flesh some things out and explain some things. It just didn't.
Well, the director's
Connect.
cut is like 2 minutes longer. Did it help?
I have the director's cut. It doesn't help. It's still too short. It's a typical 90-minute 90s movie.
Let me see how long. So, yeah, 3 minutes. So 96 for the regular, 99 for a director's cut, which is not a director's cut, by the way.
Okay, yeah, this director's cut is 100 minutes. Looking at it right now.
So, no, nothing on there. It's
100 minutes
awful.
of pure filth. I love it.
Awful.
It is awful. That's
as
why
far
I
as
own it.
Frankenheimer
I
movies
own
go-
awful movies.
As far as Frankenheimer movies go, fucking terrible. Just so it's his worst movie for sure that I've seen.
Next to
By
Reindeer
far.
Game.
This is one of the
No,
last
Reindeer
ones he
Game-
made, too. Yeah.
Reindeer Games is a fucking masterpiece compared to this.
Wow.
Reindeer Games
I
has
think
a plot
I've
and
seen
it's
Reindeer.
fun.
Who's in Reindeer Games again?
Ben Affleck,
Jerry-
Gary Sinise, Donna Logue.
Okay,
and
I
then
guess
Charlie
I haven't
Theron.
seen that one.
Charlie Theron.
Did she get naked in
She
that?
gets naked in a pool with Gary Sinise.
Ooh.
There you
I'm
go.
great. Is Gary Sinise get naked in the pool?
No, he's got long hair, trucker hair though. He looks
But-
like Nick Cage in Between Worlds. Adam.
Does he call her Franny? Hey, Franny.
Unfortunately,
Oh,
no.
Between Worlds.
All right, guys, let's get out of here. Until next time. In the meantime, I'm Phoenix West.
And I am still Adam Wilcox.
Dick it.
The law sayer, or whatever the fuck that character's name is. Oh god.
He who breaks the law goes back to the house of pain.
You know who else cast in that part? Ron Perlman.
To jump around. Jump around.
Ron Perlman.
That was Ron Perlman.
Yeah, I know.
We didn't mention him at all.
Nope.
Luckily,
He was
through
good.
this podcast.
He was
And
doing the
Bubba-
best
Bubba-
he could. Yeah.
Boba Fett was in it too.
We talked about him
Yeah.
though.
A little bit. We didn't call him Boba Fett.
Nah, we don't need to.
I do.
Yeah. He's a Kiwi now. Now I know that.
No, he's always been a Kiwi.
I know. I used to call him Australian.
You don't just become a Kiwi. You're born a Kiwi.
He's born a Kiwi. He's
Oh,
like
guys,
a warrior Kiwi.
Now he's a Kiwi.
No, that's
You
it's
don't
today.
go. You don't go down and like apply for a Kiwi license and
You
just
do.
become a Kiwi. No, you don't.
He cleared it
It's
with
not
me,
true.
and I said,
These
"Yeah,
are
you can
lies.
be a Kiwi."
These are lies.
No,
These are all
he was
lies.
Sicilian, and all Sicilians were
Lies!
swans.
Filthy liar.
Am
Like
I
your black
lying?
hair, brown. All right.
It changed
Bye.
the bloodline forever.
Bye.
Bye.
I didn't get your bye on there.
Are you God?
I am.
Are you a god? Then die.
No, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate the movie.
No,
And I wanted more Marlon Brando nonsense.
Right.
I watch it for lulls. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go pee again, and while this is saving the podcast, and then we'll talk about the. Let me make sure it's saved.
He's like
He's a tourist, Dr. Morrow.
Yeah.
Boba Fett was in it too.
We talked.
That's right.
I'll get switch over to his thing to do the be right back.
Ooh.
Where did you put this? Where do you put it?
Whoa.
Oh, he put it in the anthology, right? Yeah, there it is.
Ouch.
I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Just waiting for these guys. I feel like Dick's eating peanut butter and crackers.
Banana.
Adam, are you eating peanut butter?
No, I ate a Nutrisystem snack.
Okay.
I just
It's
had a
called
banana.
It wasn't
Zesty
peanut butter.
Snack Mix. It's kind of like their version of
Trail mix.
Chex Mix.
All right. You guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Wait for Dick. Doing a podcast. Doing a podcast right now. Welcome, Dick. All right.
We don't do theme songs no more.
We don't have a theme song for this show. And
Oh,
I
that's
can-
right.
he doesn't have LIW John Frankenheimer review episode
Oh, he's gonna do the didgeridoo.
Lost, the Doom Journey of Richard Stanley's Island of Dr Morrow 2014. I'm Phoenix West.
Adam Wilcox.
Dick.
All right, guys. Here's where we get to make fun of Island of Dr Morrow a whole lot.
Yay!
I mean, we could have
6 nipples, 6 nipple titty Catwoman all day long.
Here's my biggest question I can ask right off the bat. Sorry to cut you off, Adam.
No problem.
Do you want to watch Richard Stanley's version more than Frankenheimer's? Like, do you think it would have been better?
I've always thought about that. I don't know. I can say this. I don't know if this really answers the question. Listening to him describe it with all that energy and excitement and showing the storyboards brings me on board. So I can see how he sold this movie. If he brought that excitement to an executive board and pitched that movie to me, I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty badass. That sounds like something that I would like to watch. Could he actually carry that out? Obviously, he didn't. So if he could carry out what he pitched, sure.
To quote Jack Laird, it couldn't hurt.
Jack Laird.
I definitely want to see his version, but I don't think it would be good either.
That's the thing.
No.
I think it would be even worse because
It'd be weird.
I hate like the drawings that he has here, which I'm trying to show behind us, but they don't show very well because they're covered up. But those drawings, I'm like, oh no, I do not want to
morbid
see that
as
version.
shit. Yeah.
Like, no, I think his version would be way too much for me because I don't like that sort of stuff.
Richard Stanley is a very, very dark dude.
Yeah.
Very dark. Ridiculously dark. And he's so fucking 90s too. Like, he just reminds me of like people I used to know from the 90s, you know, like just they acted like that.
90s.
He just never outgrew the whole angst. You know what I mean? Like he lives that shit. He's so goth he farts bats. You know?
Oh, he
That
looks
kind
like
of guy.
third guitar in Soundgarden or something. He just
He
looks like one of those
does.
guys.
Except now he looks like some guy on an island that you want to stay away from, which is pretty much what he is. So,
He is on the island that you don't want to go by.
Yeah, he's. That's why I put the island of Richard Stanley. The guy is pretty much a hermit. Happily though, because at the end of this, I mean, I feel bad that this movie ruined his life as much as it did. But he did recover from eventually. As long as it took a long time, as long as he made the journey back to making the movies again, he made this. I love this movie, and glad to see him back behind the camera. He's going to do like a series of
Did you hold up Hardwire?
Lovecraft movies. Yeah.
I didn't see
Oh,
what you
sorry.
held up. Hardwire? Oh, Color
Color Out of Space. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
I also-
famous. He's most famous for Hardware, for sure. But
Yeah.
you can't even find this Blu-ray anymore. Like all on Amazon, they only have the DVD.
You know what's weird? I have Dust Devil, but I don't have Hardware. I can't find Hardware.
I
I've never
want Dust
seen it
Devil,
either.
but I'm not trading you Hardware. I won't part with this. You'll have to pry this from my cold dead hands.
Yeah.
But,
I've yet to see
yeah.
either one.
I've seen Dust Devil. I don't own Dust Devil though. I just saw it. I watched it.
It's weird that Dust Devil has a higher rating than Hardware.
It's good. It's definitely edgy. It's his style. It's very like
What is wrong with
Rock.
your microphone, Frank? What is wrong with it?
The tripod won't stay on.
he's trying to deep
Let me
throat
fix
it.
it.
You know?
We good?
That works.
Okay.
I'm just gonna be right there.
I can't hear you at all.
Look like you're
Can't.
twisting his nipples.
I can hear you, but not much.
How about now? Is this better?
Would you fuck me?
Coming at you live from the downtown studios. We're talking about Richard Stanley. He just made a new movie called Island of Dr Morrow. It's crazy.
Red of Tooth and Fang. That's why I was directing this movie. He talks.
Listening to him talk, he doesn't. The weird thing about him, other than his cool South African accent, is he never pauses between sentences. He just kind of keeps talking like this and doesn't stop to take a sentence and then moves on to the next thing until he's finally stopped by a hurricane.
You're doing the Picard impression of what is he, Frank? What the fuck was he? He talks in over long sentences and doesn't pause and talks really boring. Doesn't let you get a chance to.
He just kept talking and talking like he's running long over sentences.
Yeah, that's what you sounded like.
That was from an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation called
You
Timescape.
listen to him, but no, you listen to him talk about the Island of Dr. Morrow, and you can tell he really loves the book, and he's really into it, and he gets H.G. Wells. He's really excited to talk about it, and it's sad to see that he just completely lost control from the get-go. As soon as they said Marlon Brando, that's when he should have said, "Yep, fuck, I'm out. See you later. I'm out."
Well, he got along with
his
Marlon
first
Brando.
mistake.
No, well, the problem with that was he thought that was going to be his strength because he
Second
thought
mistake.
Marlon Brando was on his side.
TikTok.
Second mistake he made is he, for his third film, he wants to do a remake, and it's a tale as old as time, man. Art director gets handed a whole bunch of money and major studio backing, gets a whole crew. Next thing you know, he's been thrown to the wolves. It happens. It's a tale as old as time, And
Well, they even said early on, they were like, the higher ups were like, we hired him for his vision, but then we were just doing basic stuff, basic shooting, like B-roll stuff, and he just was not doing what they thought a director should do. And right there, they should have known better. They should have
he was too green.
plugged it.
Yeah.
They should have plugged it. They should have said, you know what? We're going to end this right now because it's not going to work out. We can see it coming.
I think the best thing that the documentary did was get Robert Shea on the documentary. So you got him going. That was a $6 to $8 million movie. That's it. Suddenly we got James Woods, Bruce Willis. Now we're talking 30 to 35 million, and we don't want that director anymore, is what he doesn't say. But that's what you can tell that's what he wants to say.
Yeah.
Going, we hired this guy for a 6 to 8, and that. Not a loss. We can't lose money on that.
They hired him to do a fucking was this New Line Cinema? They hired him to do a New Line Cinema horror movie, and it turned out to be a big, giant tentpole summer flick.
Well, let me say that I would like to see his $6 to $8 million movie more than I want to watch Frankenheimer's $30-40 million movie, because I think
that means a lot coming from you too.
His controlled version of that movie would be way more interesting than a huge piece of shit that we watch.
Yeah.
Because it's a piece of shit. It is. It's awful. It's not redeemable in any way except for these weird performances, and that has nothing to do with the movie. It has to do with the actors themselves.
It's like I said, man. It's just a series of scenes and series of events that happen that don't necessarily correlate. It's like they just strung whatever they had left together and tried to bang a movie out of it, and it doesn't work at all. There's we said that in the last review of it. There's no setups, there's no payoffs, there's no backstory, there's no motivations, there's zero character development for anyone. I barely
know who anyone is. They all look the fucking same.
Even the animals kind of look alike, and this is kind of. I mean, I know Stan Winston put a lot into these animals, but they don't really show them very often. They kind of just.
The only one that looks good is that cat one that gets framed for killing a rabbit. Other than that, they all kind of look the same. Obviously, the guy from Star Wars. Yeah. But other than that, the 70s version. That the creatures look better in that because they went simple. They went like Planet of the Apes style, and it looks great compared to this, which sucks. Richard
Basehart is Sayer of the Law. Now, Ron Perlman, we didn't talk about this last one. We can go ahead and address it. Ron Perlman was doing Ron Perlman, and he knows how to work with makeup. He's done it before. It comes natural to him. He's good at that. He's got a very boombastic voice, so that works for those kind of scenes. He can make that work.
He channeled his Beauty and the Beast.
I just think it's funny that so many fucking losers worked on this movie because
Right?
they're all like, they talk to the extras and they're just like, they're so scummy. It's just like,
Oh, yeah.
we were getting high on drugs and they gave us per diem every day. We just spent it on bullshit and we stayed in the hotel all the time. We were abusing the system. It's just like, okay, I guess that's something to be proud of.
There was a lot of smells of patchouli and feet on that.
Oh,
set.
absolutely.
That's
Oh,
all I
and
could-
just all
right.
kinds of bodily functions.
patchouli and feet.
Oh,
Here's
just
what I love about that whole segment of it is because they already set up the fact that there's like one woman, and it's an Australian woman who's like, I didn't want to do it. I told my
yeah.
manager, don't put me up for this, and they got a call back and said you got the role, and I was like, all right, and I'll do it. And I showed up and I did the role, and they show her in the makeup, and she's got these big old titties, and then they show later, like 20 minutes later, you see, oh, there's so much of drug use, drinking,
Yeah.
sex, and I'm like, she was like the only woman that. Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
She goes, I had a lot of. I smoked
You
a lot
don't
of
say.
fun, had a lot of fun. Some of us even forgot we had lives. Like,
Well,
oh,
they were supposed to be there for 3 weeks,
6
or
months.
it turned to 6 months. Like,
Yeah,
that's
6 months.
crazy. But that's just bad managing on the side of the studio. They're blowing millions of dollars a week at that point. I mean, that's insanity.
The other
That
thing
costs
that got
money.
me about this documentary too is you realize just exactly. I mean, everybody's like, "Oh yeah, Rich Stanley, he's weird," and I'm thinking, "What? He's weird because he dresses kind of weird. He dresses kind of goth and wears a fucking fedora all the
No,
time."
he's weird because he's fucking
You listen to him
weird.
talk, and he's like, "I used witchcraft."
Yeah, he's a fucking weirdo.
And I'm like, the first time I heard that, I'm like, "Wait, what?" And I had to back it up, and I'm like, "Did he just say what I think he said?" And he talks about like I went to go get a 6-pack, like. So I didn't get. I used witchcraft and pagan magic to get my job working on the film. And I'm like,
It's even worse.
say what? What the fuck did you just say?
He says it's okay. First of all, his mother was a witch,
yeah,
Yeah,
but then he goes, "I got the role," and I called my friend who's a warlock and told him, I'm like,
his
"You don't
friend
think
was a
that
warlock.
casually."
Wait, what?
How many? Hold on, guys.
I mean,
Of the
you
three of
hear
us,
these
how many
things.
warlocks do we know?
It's like if somebody came up to you and said, "So UFOs parked in front of my house," and you'd be like, "Sure, they did." And he's like, "No, really, they did." Yeah, I mean, this guy's just matter of fact with this shit. Like, it is he is into this shit, and
well, his pedigree though was interesting. His grandfather or great grandfather is Richard Stanley, the guy that, or it's Alfred Stanley, or the guy that went to Congo, who explored Africa, the general, the British guy, which was the example of Kurtz, was the
there's
origin
a
for
connection
Kurtz.
there, yeah.
But according to behind the scenes, H.G. Wells and Joseph Conrad used to be friends, and Joseph Conrad wrote Heart of Darkness after Island of Dr. Morrow, and a lot of H.G. Wells thought he ripped them off, so he was pissed off at Wells. So
And
basically,
that's kind of
anybody-
like why I don't like the H.G. Wells story of Dr. Moreau that much, because it does rip off Heart of Darkness, which is a way better story. And it's a
yeah,
lot
Heart of
more
Darkness came out
simpler
after.
and a lot more interesting. And
That's the thing, though. He was the other way around. So,
And
but
it's-
again, I don't know how they're not. They're like, I mean, come on. If you're writing a story about a guy going after a guy who went crazy in the jungle, there's a lot of stories like that. Most Dangerous Game, same fucking idea.
which is way more simple and a better story.
Yeah, I mean, so it's been done. It's been done so many times. And if you listen to old radio shows from the 50s and into the 60s, they did the same plot, similar plots of some madman deep inside some place that you have to find, and he's the leader of this cult. And it's been done so many times.
Yeah, but that was 60 years after the book. Is the book like 1896?
No, but
Well,
I'm
we'll
saying, shit. I might be. My internet keeps.
Yeah, your internet's shitternetting again.
All right, go ahead.
Hopefully, it doesn't die. It's good now. It looks like it's solid, but who knows? So if I disappear, Richard Stanley put a curse on me.
I hope you do like, no! And that's where you freeze out.
Richard Stanley, what are you doing here? Ah!
His warlock! You put your hand in a blender.
Well, that was my theory, is that like really bad things happened to Val Kilmer after this movie, after he assholed everybody off the fucking set, and
That could
I'm
just
like,
be-
did
that
Richard
could
Stanley
just be,
put a fucking curse on him?
That's called karma. That's not Dick Stanley, because
Well,
that should have.
Yeah, go ahead.
But this happened 20 years after the fact. Dick Stanley would have gotten to him with his warlock powers in 2000.
I'm telling you, some
come
shit
on.
went down. But
Yeah.
the thing is he's just as creepy as he is interesting to me, though. Because I remember when we were doing our director's choices, I picked Richard Stanley because I like his style. You know what I mean? Like, do I want to hang out with the guy? Oh, no. I don't want to be caught in the room alone.
Oh
with
God,
him,
no!
right?
I want to hang out. I want to talk to him for hours. I think.
But
it'd be
listening
fun.
to him talk, though, he is fun to listen to, even though he says everything in the same monotone, the South African accent without pausing in between sentences unless it's interrupted by a hurricane.
Do
I
you
mean,
want to look at my pictures that I made for this movie?
listening to him talk,
No.
this fucking guy can sell an idea, though. I will say that. That's why I would
say no.
Yeah.
Well, here's the
he
thing.
can sell an idea.
So remember that part in the documentary where the female producer goes with Richard Stanley to go talk to Marlon Brando, and Marlon Brando has the air conditioner on,
Yes.
and she passes out. What happened to her?
The warlock.
They never talk about her ever again.
The
Did
warlock.
they sacrifice her to a demon? Because
I mean, that was
there
kind of odd.
Scary shit going on this set, man.
Because that's why Richard Stanley thought Marlon Brando was on his side and would protect him, because they talked about his lineage, and Marlon Brando was more interested in him in his life than the movie, because Marlon Brando didn't give a fuck about the movie. He didn't care about anything, really. But granted, I mean, here's the thing. Marlon Brando, I get where he's coming from, because acting is bullshit, and it's all just horse shit, made up nonsense that people take way too seriously and like worship it. And he gets that. He knows it's bullshit. But at the same time, he's a fucking asshole.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's the
Because
problem.
it's like, read the fucking lines.
You had two assholes on this movie that just sabotaged everything. I mean, absolutely everything. But one of them was actually interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Even though he sabotaged everything behind the scenes.
Are you talking
Val
about Kilmer or Marlon Brando?
Kilmer.
I really don't know. Okay,
I think
good.
Val Kilmer was good in the movie. He's playing a weirdo. And even that guy on the documentary goes, I mean, he was playing an abrasive asshole, so I guess for him to be in character, he had to be an abrasive asshole.
He's like he's apologizing for him. Like, don't apologize for Val Kilmer.
No, I don't think. I think everybody hated him on that set.
Like, everybody
fucking hated
knows that if Val Kilmer was ever going to get an Oscar, it would have been for Tombstone. And he got publicly snubbed for that one because of his behavior.
him. And that was before Batman.
That shit
Forever.
gets around, man. It gets around. Well, I think he's always been that way. I think it just came out more like, on Moreau. I think by the time Moreau came out, he thought, I'm the biggest, greatest actor that ever lived. I just played Jim Morrison in a movie, and my shit doesn't stink.
That was
Jim
6
Morrison
years
movie
ago.
was 10 years ago.
It was 6 years before this.
It was 1990, for God's sake.
Fucking nobody
going
remembers the
off
Doors
Batman.
movie anymore.
He was thinking about Willow.
Oh, God, Willow.
I'm Mad Morgan, God damn.
Oh, there's a movie I saw at the movie theater, and I was just like, oh, wow, have I been duped?
No, I love that.
I think that was when I first realized George Lucas can't direct a movie at all.
Well, he
period.
didn't direct.
Cannot.
George Lucas.
That was Ron Howard.
Well,
Ron Howard directed that one.
he
Ronald
can't direct a
Howard.
movie either.
Little Ronnie Howard. Ron Howard's good.
Little Ronnie Howard, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, God.
No, but with Marlon Brando, I mean, but you look at his life though. All of his children committed suicide, so that's really sad. I mean, that's pretty fucked up.
It says something about the guy, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, is it because of him? Is it because of fame? And like, is it because of the fame that he had that his children would never have, and that ruined them in such a way?
They grew up in wealth,
endless money for them.
But again, Marlon Brando's son killed himself because of who?
Claire Danes.
Spoiler alert. She was brutally murdered in a Italian restaurant by another actor. Robert Blake, his wife.
Yeah.
Robert Blake's wife used to be Christian Brando's girlfriend.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And he
been a
killed
while
himself
since I looked into
because of her. So when people say, "Oh, Robert Blake's a murderer," I'm like, "Yeah, but he killed an awful woman." So, it's kind of like a $5 fine. I don't care.
Wow.
She was awful. She's an awful human being. She deserved to be shot up in a restaurant. So fuck that bitch.
How is she out?
Allegedly.
But you know what else I just thought of this just now. Okay, like we've seen the Heart of Darkness documentary. I finally sat down and watched that. And
Oh,
that
that's awesome.
there's a guy that is a well-seasoned director that got in over his head with a very similar production type setup. Go to an island, take a bunch of actors to a fucking island in the fucking jungle out
With
in the
Marlon
heat,
Brando, not knowing
with
his line.
Marlon Brando. What the fuck did he think was going to happen?
Well, but that's before Marlon Brando was full blown nut. Because
that was
really
the start.
that was kind of because Superman was 78, and if people didn't know that Marlon Brando was an asshole on Superman, I don't know what to tell you. It's like, you know what?
Krypton.
If you don't, if Marlon Brando demands to be paid $12 million for 3 minutes of footage, it's like, fuck you. Like,
He has an island to buy, okay?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
money.
On the planet Krypton.
Do you want to do role play here, Dick? Let me ask you
Yeah.
a question. Hey, Marlon, have you been up to the reef yet?
No.
No.
I don't know what I'm supposed to
The
do.
documentary, he goes, the guy's telling the story of Val Kilmer goes, the only time they talked outside of the roles was, Marlon, have you been up to the reef? And he goes, reef? The fucking reef? I own a reef. I'm up to my... I'm surrounded in reefs.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
And that's all he said.
that's funny. I forget.
Marlon
That's right.
Brando.
Marlon Brando's an asshole, but like I get where he's coming from because it's all bullshit, and people like worshipped him, and he was just like, I'm a false prophet, and I know it, and you guys are stupid to believe this, so I'm going to fuck with you and get away with it with my fart machine and my fucking. I want an ice hat. Give me an ice bucket for a hat because it's hot,
A fart machine.
and that's what he played with one. And they knew Bob Shea knew he was difficult because he just worked with him on fucking Don Juan DeMarco.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
Oh,
like, why
God,
would you
fuck
hire
that
him
movie.
again?
So,
Hold on.
God, I lost my
Real
train
quick.
of thought.
You know what it reminds me of? You know what Marlon Brando reminds me of? Is an actually talented Cameron Mitchell.
Yes.
He just sits in a chair and says dialogue that's being told in his ear, but he gets paid a ton of fucking money instead of Mitchell.
Who got paid in beers?
$20 and a case of Heineken.
Yeah. Cameron Mitchell was in a lot more movies than Marlon Brando, too.
Close the fucking
And
doors!
he made collectively less than one of Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
I'd say Marlon Brando, Cameron Mitchell's entire career equaled the half an hour of work on Superman 1.
I think the
Or-
greatest trick he ever
or-
pulled is finding new and exciting ways to siphon all of the money out of Hollywood, because he sure
Yeah.
is just
Well,
demanding
still
these
hating
fucking
him.
ridiculous, but it's still still hating him.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, I mean, it's complicated. And he was like that even before, though. So he was always an asshole. Because even during On the Waterfront,
Yeah.
he wasn't there to help the other actors. He would say, yeah, I'm done. I'm going to my trailer. I don't want to do this anymore. And like the actors who are like Carl Malden and high-end great actors were like, what the fuck? You're not going to show me the respect to do the scene with me? You know, do the off-camera work? Like, the fuck you. So they all worked with the script girl. Like, that's what they said. They said, I'm giving my heartless performance to somebody off-camera it's not even him. And it's just like, well, what a dick. And he said, he was always like that. No one that liked Brando. So like he just, for some reason, he had the formula to just keep making movies and keep making all these checks. It's like, it's unbelievable.
I remember seeing this movie in the theater, and the first time when he shows up with this fucking like phony looking Pope like fucking gauze thing that he's wearing with the triangle thing on his head and the sunglasses and the powder makeup and the cheesecloth wrapped around his and the first thing that I thought of is like, is this supposed to be an homage to Apocalypse Now, or
It feels like it.
No,
Doesn't
not
it,
even
though?
that. Not even that. Because
like a
it's not
bad
even-
homage to Apocalypse Now?
Because they talk about that in the documentary. I think it's Farousa Balk or someone said he was wrapping himself with bandages, like gauze, and then he was putting this white cream on because he was hot, and that was the crux of the Doctor was he was always hot. So everything for this character revolved around the idea that he was always hot and sweaty.
So
That's it.
a
That's all
doctor
he brought to the table.
that wants to work on animals and people, who's always hot and very sensitive to the heat. moves to a fucking island. A tropical island.
Yes. That's the point. Exactly. So, exactly. Why does he go insane? Because it's hot. I want to do this. I would love to do it. It's
You know,
wonderful idea.
when everybody's like kind of, you think everybody's going insane in the Thing, it's earned. It's not earned in this movie at all whatsoever. When you're wondering if people are insane or if they took too many drugs or...
I'm looking at right now how many movies Marlon Brando even fucking matters. And it's like 5 movies.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
5 movies. He's in a bunch, but nobody gives
He
a
happened to
shit
be in
about
some ones that are really highly revered. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got first Streetcar Named Desire, On the Waterfront, Godfather, and then it's Superman.
And honestly, I'll be
Apocalypse
perfectly
Now.
fucking honest with you.
That was the other one.
And I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you guys would agree with me. Godfather 2 is a way better fucking movie.
Way better.
Way better. And there's no Marlon Brando in The Godfather Part 2.
Because Marlon Brando wanted way more money, and they
That
said,
is
"Fuck
all
you."
Robert De Niro and
Thankfully, they said no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think at that point, even what's his name? Well, it was
Coppola could have been too
Coppola.
dissatisfied because he worked with him late in the decade.
Well, I think that was more or less what's his name? Robert Evans. Because Robert Evans,
Robert De Niro and Bruno Kirby.
Oh,
That's
Bruno
another-
Kirby.
That's another fun documentary. Is the kid stays in the picture? The Robert
Yeah.
Evans story.
Robert Evans. Hello, how are you? I'm Robert Evans. He's dead. He finally died.
Yeah.
But yeah, this documentary, unlike the movie, you can't fall asleep watching this. It's really fast. There's so much shit happening, and you're like, wait, that happens on fucking movies? And it's like they just matter-of-factly talk about this stuff like, yeah, this happens on movies. You never heard about this shit in the 90s, you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't want this kind of information to be coming out. You know, it's like people that knew what was going on this island kept it very insider baseball, you know what I mean? Like, they did not want this getting out to the public, you know? So it makes you wonder how many other fucked up movies there are like this one, you know?
Oh, there's a lot.
Seems like they always involve people filming on islands that are way far out there in the middle of nowhere, too.
Yeah, but the difference is you could have a bad production and fix it, and it saves the day at the end. I mean, you got Apocalypse Now, case in point.
Yeah.
I mean, that movie came out a masterpiece, and it made a bunch of
Apocalypse
money.
Now is not about Vietnam. It is Vietnam.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he says. And then, like, you take a movie like Rogue One. Rogue One was a disaster, I guess.
Yeah.
And they met, and Tony Gilroy, they paid him like $12 million to fix that movie. And I guess apparently Tony Gilroy is the reason that movie was successful. Oh my God, somebody's actually watching this?
I asked Leo Red what his favorite
Yeah.
John Frankenheimer movie is.
Leo
Fully
Red.
expecting no answer. But
It's my
Yeah.
buddy.
I would
Loyal
say
follower.
I did not want to watch this documentary for years. But then
Why?
Oh, this one? Oh, no.
Oh,
I
loved
had
it.
to
I
when
was
it's first.
excited, yeah.
I actually rented this to watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it when it
Imagine-
first came out. Yeah.
Imagine there's a Carpenter documentary out that's like, you know, John Carpenter's going to get trashed and drugged through the mud.
Absolutely. I'd watch that in a heartbeat.
But
Oh, that's why. Okay, because you're a
know, but-
Frankenheimer fan. I'm sorry, I
Alright.
didn't put that two together.
no, I
Yeah.
finally watched. I only watched it because Red Letter Media did a thing about it, and I was like, all right, I'll watch it. And then I watched it, and I'm like, it is more fascinating after Richard Stanley gets kicked off the project, and then they involve John Frankenheimer, and then they're like, he was an asshole.
Yeah.
No,
And
I
I
would say he was an asshole. He was just clinical. And I don't think he was there to make friends. And if you were dealing with these extras and these people acting a fool, wouldn't you be
Well,
kind of like, you know what?
Okay.
Be professional
plus,
here. What the fuck? I'm
he
trying
knows-
to fix this shit.
Yeah, he's inherited the bad classroom. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, he's
yeah.
the substitute teacher that has to come and fill in for the other substitute teacher that got run off by the bad kids. So he goes into it knowing it's already fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, he already knows it's
And
fucked
then when he says, Frank, I wouldn't make the movie of the story of Val Kilmer with fucking Val Kilmer.
up. I love that.
John
That's
Val,
fucking
great.
I
That's
would
all
love
true.
to hear that. Yeah,
He's
I
admitted
would love to
that.
hear that.
Like, he hated Val Kilmer, and I don't blame him.
And I even liked Richard Stanley describe. He's like, I made the unfortunate mistake of meeting Mr. Val Kilmer.
But
Oh man, destroyed my life.
I both understand why Frankenheimer was that way and kind of like calm down. But also, if I walked into this fucking set and everyone's just doing whatever the fuck, like the
Yeah.
culture that Stanley created was like this weird art hippie community. Like, do whatever you want.
And I
You're gonna
fucking
get it
hate
eventually.
that. Yeah.
I would be like, fuck you, sit the fuck
Yeah.
down and do your goddamn scenes.
Yeah.
And then you have Val Kilmer and Marlon Brando just fucking with you.
We're going to shoot the death of Marlon Brando today. We're going to take all day to do it, too. God damn it. John Frankenheimer here.
Don't put words in my mouth here, Adam. You're typing as me. Oh, no, don't say Ronin.
Ronin is my favorite film.
It's my favorite Frankenheimer movie.
I liked working with John Frankenheimer.
I like Ronin, but no.
Ronan's a good movie.
It's good. It's not great.
It's the best car chase movie ever made. One of them.
Yes.
If not
this
the best
one,
It's
car
the
chase
best.
movie.
It is the best.
this is where your boy kind of like he wanted to tell a story. Well, what story was he trying to tell? Can you explain that to me?
It sounds like he told more of a story than Richard Stanley would have, though.
No, what happened was he did this. He said, the question was, John, why are you making this movie? Let's just say it moved me to a bigger house. That's what he said. And that's the truth. He did it for money. This was a total
This is a career
money
thing,
job.
honestly.
Well, no, yeah, because he was doing TNT movies at this point.
He did after.
She was the greatest
That's what I'm
piece of
saying.
ass I ever had.
His movies after this.
Yeah. I think we got to pick his movies after this.
But
And
all
again,
of that,
this was
all
his
that work
401k.
on the makeup and everything, I feel like all that was glossed over, even during the Sayer of the Law. Like that should have been like a really classic speech, and they walk in on it at the very end of the fucking speech. I'm like, really? You know, it's like he obviously didn't even see the original. I don't even know if there is an original of this movie because it's been remade twice, according to Mr. Richard Stanley. I didn't see the old one that he was talking about. That was called something else.
This goddamn movie I'm going to make called Island of Dr. What the fuck is this? Fucking ape shit? Animals fucking... What is this shit? What is
Animals
this?
with titties hanging out? What the fuck
God
is
damn
this?
it. What am I... Oh, Christ. You better pay me $5 million, Bob.
Anytime someone on the production talks about Richard Stanley's version, is he only gave a shit about the creatures. That's it.
I believe it.
I wonder what would his story have been.
Well, it would have been
just creature based.
the creature story.
Well, what I would like for this is the reason why I don't like any of these is because even H.G. Wells glosses over this shit. All right, is what would be interesting is you make this a movie and the big message of the movie is who's more animal, the man or the animal? You know what I mean? Like what's that fine line of what's the difference between animal and man? That's what you make it about. You know what I mean? Like you just loosely based on the.
They tack that on at the end there, though.
Yes.
Yeah, and
It is so bad. It is so bad.
So lame. It's like, footnote.
I'm
Done.
leaving the island, thinking to myself, maybe we're not so different from these animals on the island itself.
The movie did not earn that. It did not earn that at all.
I completely agree with everything Alan and you just said.
I'm Knox Harrington, the video artist. Bars over there. Would you like a drink? You're White Russian. Bars over there.
Something like this should have been if you were to make this today. Okay, you would have stick to the budget of $8 million. All right, you would have make this maybe a 2 to 4 part mini series, and you'd put it on Amazon Prime.
They couldn't make this for $8 million even on streaming now. It's not happening.
Yeah.
You'd
But-
have no
Those days are over.
You'd have no actors though. You could.
Yeah.
No.
You would just. You make it British. You just have British actors, no names, and call it good.
And it wouldn't be on. It wouldn't be on Amazon. It'd be on Apple Plus.
You don't focus
you get
on
Guy
the
Pearce.
special effects. You focus on like the performances and the script. You know what I mean? That's what you do. With
Don't
something
you
like this.
badmouth Guy Pearce?
Guy Pearce will do fucking anything.
Yeah, he will do anything.
He really
He did
will.
Lockout for Christ.
Did you see
sake.
Bloodshot? I
Spoiler
saw
alert
Bloodshot.
for
That was
coming
the
up
last movie I saw.
Coming up on John Carpenter, my pick, Lockout.
That's what I said. Lockout. It's awful.
Yeah.
Lockout is an awful, awful movie.
I can't wait to
I
watch
walked out of the theater. of that movie because I was like, "This? Are you fucking kidding me? I can't do this." And I left. I think that might be that one of 4 movies I walked out of was Lockout.
Hold on. Leo Red, looking through Google, and I still don't have a favorite movie of his. I wrote, say either Seconds or Manchurian Candidate. He wrote Prophecy. One of his worst movies. His only horror movie. I wrote, You Dick.
That's Leo, man. It's
Hey,
awesome.
after he said Ronin here, I wrote this.
No, that's super cool.
Oh man.
All right. I wish people would have signed on more. Like I wish Ron Perlman and David Thewlis would have agreed to do the documentary, but they didn't want to trash talk everything because they're classy guys. I wish.
Well, I'm sure I'm sure Ron Perlman was like, I ain't fucking talking about that fucking life, that fucking nightmare. I'm not talking about it.
Ron Perlman's a way sweeter guy than you think he would be.
No, he's very nice.
And
Yeah.
you know what? Perlman has done some pretty impressive things over the years too, man. He had
I
a
love
really
Ron
good run on
Perlman.
Sons of Anarchy, and he did
Season of the Witch.
2 really great Hellboy movies. And,
Season of the Witch.
Oh, Alien Resurrection. We can't forget that. Yeah.
Here's how good he is. We didn't even really talk about him in Season of the Witch that much.
No,
We
because
mentioned him a couple times.
Because he was fine. Yeah, he was fine. Yeah.
He's always
He was
Yeah.
the only one that Ron Perlman was the only one in that movie that knew what that movie was.
you
Oh,
buy
He's the
the
only one that got it,
beer.
yeah. He's like, this is
talking
just
like-
13 Warriors. Yeah,
He's
13th
not even
Warrior.
crying. He's like, I'm from New York. Fuck yourself. What do you want? I'm in the Crusades.
I'm gonna fight some Muslims and shit. Whatever.
Well, everybody else is in the Crusades except fucking Nicolas Cage, who, I'm in the Crusades, and the worst possible English accent I could ever possibly
He was
do.
a knight.
Speaking of bad English accents, what the fuck is Marlon Brando doing in this movie?
He's having fun. That's what he's doing.
He's making that. He literally made an accent for this fucking movie. He invented an accent
was
as he was doing it.
splicing genes, and I decided to make this voice come from me being a doctor of mysterious nature.
Or that he's like, I spliced my DNA with an English bulldog. Yes.
He sounds like a drunken Malcolm Warner. That's what he fucking sounds like. He sounds like Malcolm Warner after he's had a couple of shots of absinthe. He's
Malcolm
fucking
Warner?
wasted.
Or you mean
The guy,
Malcolm McDowell?
Michael McDowell?
no, the guy from the one that was in, not Malcolm McDowell, the guy that was in, maybe I'm getting the wrong name. The guy that was in Tron, that guy, the bad guy.
Oh, David
from Tron.
Warner.
David Warner.
David Warner,
That's
yeah.
what I thought you meant
Okay.
originally, and then I was like,
Yeah.
maybe he means Michael. Okay.
He sounds like a drunken David Warner. That's what he talks. He sounds like a
Stock.
David Warner if he's slurring his fucking words.
Marlon Brando always slurs and sounds drunk. Like, there's no way to get away from that.
Oh
for him.
God!
Remember when that
why?
movie, The Score, with De Niro and Edward Norton, was directed by Frank Oz? I guess fucking Marlon Brando was such a dick on that movie because Frank Oz was the director. He kept calling him a Muppet. Like, he called him Fozzie. Like, and he didn't want him to be directed by him. So he had De Niro direct all his scenes.
Yeah.
Like, he's a dick. Like,
Even Edward Norton didn't like him, and Edward Norton.
Edward Norton's a dick.
Fuck
Yeah.
you, Leo.
Malcolm. Ed Norton's a fucking asshole.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I liked him a lot as an actor, but yeah, he's a prick.
Oh no, yeah, he's a great actor, but he's a fucking.
Well, that's
dick.
why he gets to make fun of himself on the Birdman movie.
Right? Yeah, right.
So hopefully he figured that out. I don't know.
And that's why they didn't cast him in the Avengers movie. They're just like, fuck you, Ed. We don't want
But
you.
it's sad when this happens though, because these films, they change hands and then they lose sight of their original vision, and you just get whatever crumbs is left from the fucking aftermath.
That's
I mean,
Hollywood.
It's sad, man.
That's
You know,
Hollywood.
I mean,
That's Hollywood.
I'm
It's
not
a
all that
factory.
broken up that Island of Dr. Morrow is a flop. Because like I said, I didn't like the original Island of Dr. Morrow, so I had no expectations going into it. But
Well, again,
I'm
it's
convinced
like,
now that they can never make a good one.
would this be a hit even if Richard Stanley did his version and everything worked out fine? No, nobody would have seen this movie.
I don't think
This
so.
movie came out, what, 1997?
I will say this: it would definitely be interesting, but I don't know if it would be good. Okay,
And
'Cause,
nobody would see this movie in a theater.
Okay, so have both of you guys seen Dust Devil?
No.
Okay, Dust Devil is not as good as Hardware. It's interesting, but it's not great.
It has a higher
It's-
IMDb score though.
It's kind
We've
of
learned that means nothing.
it's kind of a little too edgy for its own good. Like a lot of it feels like I'm watching an extended rock video, and that's because Richard Stanley used to direct rock videos for Fields of the Nephilim, which is a goth band. So yeah, that's how he got his start. He directed rock videos. So Dust Devil feels like very much like a rock video. In fact, the singer from Fields of the Nephilim is the guy that played the burnout that's walking in the beginning of Hardware, the one with the big hat and the fucking gas mask on, the one that you see in the trailer that they're always showing. If you've never seen Hardware, you know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Is that the same guy, the two Australian guys that were talking in the documentary who talked about, oh yeah, I got fired by the job. I got fired twice, and I got back on as an extra. Like they never left the production.
No, I don't know who the fuck those guys are. Never seen them or heard of them.
Yeah.
Is Johnny Depp the only person in the world that Marlon Brando got along with?
No, Marlon Brando got along with people. Some people did like Marlon, not just Johnny Depp.
worked with him twice,
Ariel Levy, our teacher in film school, he was really good friends with him.
I don't think Marlon Brando's intentionally a mean guy. I think he's just, his head is so up his own ass that he can't see the light of day.
Well, that's the thing. Is it on purpose, or is it he's playing a joke?
I think he's fucking clueless. I think he really was clueless. I think he just happened to be in all the right movies at the right time, and it is what it is.
Well, he's a good actor. Even in all the movies, Julius Caesar, like all the movies that he's in the 50s, he's good.
It's like him and James Dean. Would James Dean have continued being a great actor had he lived and not died in a car accident, or did he just happen to be in all the right movies at the right time? Would he have just?
James Dean was pretty good though. James Dean was pretty solid.
But what do you
at the same time,
Marlon Brando character? Because they're very similar early roles.
Well, that's the thing. It's James Dean.
Very similar.
Him and yeah.
Kind
well, it's like the John.
Too,
it's the John Belushi scenario. It's like, would have John Belushi stopped being famous after Neighbors because Neighbors was such a flop? Would he ever have recovered? And
1941.
He had Continental Divide, 1941, Neighbors, all three big flops in a row.
Well, they're going to bring back Ghostbusters, and
that's what I mean. If he was going to be in Ghostbusters, would he have ruined Ghostbusters? And Ghostbusters never would have been good and would never have been a hit.
It's possible.
No, I think it was still.
I don't think so.
As good.
I think Bill Murray is the only reason that movie works.
Yeah.
Dan Aykroyd script with Ivan Reitman fixing it works. Harold Ramis too. Harold Ramis fixed it, and Harold Ramis is a genius. He knew what to do to make it work. But again, if you don't have Bill Murray in that soup, it doesn't float. It don't work.
I think 3 Ghostbusters really make that movie work, and also Dan Aykroyd's there. What could go wrong?
If there's a steady paycheck in it, I would believe anything you want.
So let me present a question to the panel. If you're in charge of this movie and you call all the shots, how would you have fixed this movie, and when would you have made changes? What changes would you have made?
As soon as Rob Moreau calls the boss and says, "Get me the fuck out of here,"
and I go to him, I will crash a helicopter on you. Fuck!
I will kill your family. You will do this movie.
I will get you and 2 Vietnamese children here, and I will ruin your fucking lives, sir.
I don't even care if they're Vietnamese.
Okay, I would seriously, what you mentioned earlier, it needs to be about the difference between humanity and animals, or what do they call it? Humanimals in the 77 version, which is just dumb. But it would be the difference in that, and that should be the centerpiece of the movie, and the characters are revolved around that instead of here's this.
And for something like that, you need a lot more character development out of the animals than what we got. Instead, we framed everything around Marlon Brando, who's in only half of the fucking movie, and then is the fuck out, pieces the fuck out by the second act, and
so does Val Kilmer. He dies 5 minutes.
And Val Kilmer dies off too. And it's like, so the 2 biggest actors in your movie are dead before the fucking third act, and the third act is just Michael Bay style explosions for the rest of the fucking movie.
That was literally Frankenheimer going, "Fuck these guys."
He was literally blowing up the set. Fuck
They're out of my fucking lives. Goodbye.
Bring in the pyrotechnics.
Yeah,
Roll them.
if you're starting from absolute scratch with a script, the difference between humans and animals, start with the first 20 minutes is just Dr. Moreau and Montgomery and them working on this, and then this guy shows up. And then you can he doesn't need to, we don't need to see him walk around the fucking island as much as we do. You could skim through that a little bit more streamlined. We don't need to see the explosions. We can see the beginning of the revolt where they and honestly, that sounds exactly like the 77 version was. Yes. Later
It's
says
just
for the podcast, I'll just J.J. Abrams it and let the lens flare everything to splice it up and distract people from the overall story. That's all you need to do.
It's like Marlon Brando
and
his red dot or his red. Oh, was that in the documentary or was that something else?
What?
Yeah, he's talking about it with the laser pointer and his tack dogs. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, that was the.
He's amused by that. He just everything he pointed the laser pointer at the dogs would just fucking.
That should tell you everything you need to know about Marlon Brando.
What a prick!
I have this red laser pointer and I point it. And the dogs go crazy. They love it. Look at it. Hey, what a fucking dick.
Real quick before we move on to someone else's idea of how to fix this is the part of the documentary you can tell was fabricated and it was just like stories growing from stories on set, like on set lore, was Richard Stanley did show up in costume to the set after he got kicked off the production.
He was there,
which is that, you know what? I admire that. The dude has some big fucking hairy balls to do that shit.
Literally, because he's an animal. But he does show up.
He had hair tied on his balls. He just had like spirit gum glued on his actual scrotum.
And I think that's where it ends. And everyone else is like, "Oh, he was crazy," and he was, and they make up these wild stories because they're all drunk and fuck that one woman who's on set. So they're just making up stories, and that's really where the craziness ends. Other than hiring a warlock, that guy's fucking out of his goddamn mind. If you believe in warlocks, you're fucking crazy.
I want somebody to make a movie about the making of this movie. I like they did with the Disaster Artist and Dolomite is
only good.
Well, I think that
because they find Richard Stanley and he's like living in the fucking woods somewhere, and he's just like smokes a bunch of weed and rants about fucking Val Kilmer. I'm like, I want to see that shit. I don't want to hear that story. I want to see him fucking just ranting.
I just like the fact. The
fucking beard hanging down, just bugs in his hair and
Stanley,
shit.
He basically was up the river from the shoot, and he was living in a commune, and like everybody was like, "Well, this guy just showed up, and he smoked all their dope, and all he talks about is Val Kilmer." And they go, "Wait a minute, what? Say that again?"
You know he cast a spell on Val Kilmer, man. What a fucking weird. I'm sorry. All right, I don't want to judge anybody by their religion. I've known some people that are Wiccans. All right, you're into whatever you're into, but people that cast spells on other people or use magic to get what they want, those are not people I want to be bumping elbows with. I'm sorry. That frightens me. Okay?
Their spells and their hexes usually don't do anything.
No.
Call me crazy. I mean, Val Kilmer had a lifetime of smoking cigarettes and he got throat cancer. That's
whether it works or not is irrelevant. It's the point that somebody will actually think about, I'm going to cast a spell on somebody else. Those are not people that I want coming to my parties. Okay, I'm just saying. They show up to the party, you throw everybody out. It's over. It's done.
I think Val Kilmer has acknowledged the fact that he was an asshole and he has apologized for it. So I think he has.
Now that he's half dead,
he's been humbled by life. So.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But
he is, I think, a better guy.
But as far as hexes go, then he had a notorious streak of being a horrible asshole to every person, including the women he was ever with. And he got served some divorce papers when he showed up to set. Surprise, surprise.
I do think it's funny though that they said that they announced that he was getting the divorce. His wife announced it on a TV show. She didn't even have the fucking balls to fucking send him, a letter in the mail or fucking fax him something to him. It just
don't leave Mad Mardigan. Mad Mardigan leaves you.
It just announces it on a TV show out of nowhere. That's got to be fucking low, man.
The one heartbreak out of the whole movie though is not for Richard Stanley. It's for that German actor who got upstaged by a midget monster.
Dick, please go
I love talking
into
about
that storyline. Not the midget, but the German actor.
So the poor German
Marlon Brando
actor,
fucking with him is great.
this German actor's on there. He goes like, "This is like my first big movie. I'm in like half of the movie. I'm like, I'm like the co. I'm co-starring in this movie. Because you watch it now, I'm in 4 scenes. Like I was in the whole movie. They got me down to 4 scenes at the end of the day because Marlon Brando falls in love with this fucking 17-inch tall man who's from South America and who's like a celebrity in his hometown of Dominican Republic or whatever. And he goes, Marlon Brando came. He goes, you speak German. You can speak German. He goes, yeah. And like he did this joke. And he goes, it wasn't German. Like he's not speaking German. And I was just like, I don't know how to respond to that. And then some other guy on the cast was like, oh yeah, he's saying this. There you go. That which is fucking funny. That's funny.
What if God?
Let's see if I can zoom that a little bit.
I mean, this is makeup, obviously, but it ain't far off from what this guy really looks like. He's a fucking freak show.
I forget
he's
what's that
just
guy's
gross.
Nelson De La Rosa. Let's see if I can
Nelson
get
De La
more
Rosa.
pictures on this guy. Oh,
And
see,
he
it's-
died
it's-
in 2008. Oh, he died before The Dark Knight came out. Oh, he died after The Dark Knight came out. Look at that.
I shall call him Mini-Me.
Look at my green outfit. It's wonderfully comfortable.
Here he is.
Actually, it kind of looks like my grandfather.
That's
I wonder if he
him.
hired him after the show to just come wash his head. Yeah, he must get a really good hand job for him to get that much fucking attention from. I mean, he's 17 inches, so yeah, I guess you could probably reach up just high enough to.
Oh, he can put his whole body in you.
I better stop talking.
I'll bury myself into your vagina cavity.
Ron Jeremy's cock plus 4 inches. I don't know.
Is
how
this
big
guy.
it is this guy?
Yeah.
Crazy. So
And oddly enough, Ron Jeremy's dick talked like this guy.
if you get Ron Jeremy's
Yeah.
cock, in a dollar bill, you have to fold the dollar bill. Hopefully not the cock to fit this guy. That's how small he is. It's
and now Ron Jeremy's going to prison for life
yes.
for 1,000 sex assaults.
So
Go figure.
Dick, yeah, he the German actor's like he replaced me and did not want to be in the scenes. Val Kilmer didn't want to be in the scenes of this guy because he thought he'd upstage him.
Yeah.
And then my favorite part is Marlon Brando going up to him. He goes, "The only time I ever met him," and he's going, and he's saying this fake German stuff, and he's like, "Okay, that means cat and that means roof. Are you
Right,
talking
yeah.
about cat and a hot tin roof?" And he's like, "No." He says it again, and the other guy's like, "Oh, he's talking about this," and he goes, "He knows German better than you," and he's just nonsense.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, and that's the only time I talked to him.
Yeah.
That guy was so disillusioned by Hollywood. It was amazing.
I never talked to him again. Though, did he do anything after this movie, that German actor? Pull up his IMDb. What did he
Okay.
what are we
been up
looking
to?
at here?
By the way, I don't want the story. Whatever the story is behind this picture, I don't want to know. This is one of those where I don't want to go down this rabbit hole.
It's
I'm
called
frightened.
Dominican Republic Television. That's what that's called.
I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, Dick.
He's
I
in
just
a
don't-
lot
I
of
don't.
German stuff. I'll say
Oh
that.
yeah. No, yeah.
And that's about it. He's in some American stuff, but nothing you've really heard of. Urban Legends Final Cut was the only American thing.
Ooh.
Oof.
Island of Dr. Morrow before that.
Ooh.
That's it.
So yeah, this Island of Dr Morrow kind of destroyed a lot of people's careers.
Veruza
So,
Balk. Veruza Balk never kind of recovered either, did she?
No.
This is the same year as The Craft, which is fucked up.
Yeah, because The Craft is a great movie. It
She
really
was in The
is. And
Waterboy after this.
She's one of
Well,
the
that's
best
true.
parts of that movie too.
that's true. She didn't have a bad time. She
was still
came out
attractive
okay.
woman.
Yeah, she was all right.
Yeah, it's the documentary is far more fascinating than the actual movie.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
I think you need to watch the movie before you watch the documentary so you understand how fucked it is.
Nah, you don't have to do that.
Honestly, you really don't, because you watch the movie
I
and you just
did.
think, well, that was
I
a bunch
did.
of boring nonsense, and then
I
the
watched it,
documentary
yeah.
just plods along. Yeah.
I never saw the movie. I saw the documentary first, and I got it. I was like, wow,
But
that's
I
fucking
just
weird.
I can't help. Every time I've seen the documentary, I can't help thinking like, damn, man, it's like I've seen this documentary a couple times. Every time Richard Stanley describes the movie that he wanted to make, I'm like, I wish I could have seen that movie. That sounds really interesting. I don't know if it had been any good, but it definitely been interesting.
Yeah,
Have you ever seen you? You guys seen that documentary about the Dune movie that never got made?
Yeah,
You ever see that one?
Jodorowsky's doing. Yeah,
Jodorowsky's Dune. That guy's a fucking wackadoo too.
Oh yeah.
but then
that
again,
movie would have been terrible, but it would have
Well,
been interesting as fuck.
But here's the thing: that movie would never have been made because there's no fucking way you could have made it then. There's no way you can make that movie today. It would never happen. So like for that, and I hate the thing that pisses me off about that fucking movie is like he's saying, "Oh, I'm an artist," and like he goes, "They ruined this wonderful thing." He pulls out a bunch of fucking euros out of his pocket, talking about money. And he's got like a wad of euros. Like it's probably about 10,000 euros in his hand. He goes, "They just care about money." And it's like, well, dude, you have it. So what the fuck are you talking
if
about?
you have money, you can't.
You have
about
like
money.
so. What the fuck are you talking? Artist, you've made a fortune off of your fucking art. You've made millions upon millions of dollars. So fuck you. What are you talking about? You got rich off of your shit. So what are you talking about? It means
Imagine a
nothing.
sci-fi.
Money means nothing.
A science fiction movie, Phoenix, scored by Pink Floyd. Wow.
There is one.
Yeah, it's called Wizard of Oz.
It's called. Is that one called More? Or is that one called? They did a soundtrack for a movie.
Oh, okay.
Days. It's not a good album.
Frank would know.
Yeah, there's one called More, and there's one called something.
Less.
Moreau.
The hair's like to blue.
God damn it. But I'm happy that Richard
More.
Stanley finally
More
got
is
behind the
on.
camera again. He's actually doing a series of he's doing a trilogy of Lovecraft movies. Next one's going to be the Dunwich Horror. I don't know what the third one's going to be, but it'll be fun.
Oh, so you did the color? I need to see the color from space.
Yeah, Color Out of Space is it's crazy, but he's a visual guy. He's not really a great storyteller. You watch him for his like visual stuff.
And I'm not a fan as much as Adam is of Color Out of Space. Visually, solid as fuck. Story wise, not for me.
No, story wise, it's all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah. So I completely agree. I don't regret watching it. I did like most of the movie. It's just kind of not for me.
Mandy's a better movie.
Oh yeah, definitely
by far. Yeah.
But
Mandy has structure. Yeah.
both made my weirdos. Both those movies.
Yeah, George Cosmos' son.
Panos.
Both of those movies, you want
Monster.
to do a bunch of mushrooms before you watch them. You know.
Incidentally, his father directed Tombstone, but not really because Kurt Russell directed Tombstone.
Kurt Russell ghost directed it. Yeah.
And
Is there anything else from the documentary we missed that we didn't? It's really
I'm trying to think if there's some funny things I want to talk about. I probably should have wrote these things down.
I took 0 notes for this show.
oh, Farusa Balk degeneration we could talk about because
Her turn into a paper shredder, you mean?
she was progressing into a paper shredder. I need to take the serum. Ah!
That destroyed the serum. But yeah, that was just my philosophy was that it wasn't really in the script. It was just Val Kilmer said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna make fun of Marlon Brando for the next 3 days," and they just filmed the best bits, worked it into the fucking script, and just left it going. I destroyed all the serum because he is the end of his end of the movie. He's doing a Marlon Brando impression for the entire time, and I'm like, that could not have been written that way.
Until he begs for death.
Yeah.
Yes.
There she is in the documentary, and
Oh, here you go.
That's not her. That was ooh. Ah!
He is like all teeth.
Yeah, look at
Ah!
that.
teeth and gums. Yeah, teeth and gums.
Wow. Well,
Oh, here's a cooler thing than the entire both movies combined. Look at this artwork. That's a fun thing.
there you go.
Yeah, too bad we didn't get that movie.
You got plenty of this stuff.
There's his mask that he kept.
The leprosy of these.
But seriously though, isn't it fun listening to that guy talk? It's like he's weird, but he's just so into whatever the hell it is he's talking about. But his voice never raises an octave or goes below an octave. It's
he
just always
needs
the
to
same-
do
the
books
same
on tape.
monotone. Yeah, I'd like to do books on tape. I'm going to do a series of H.G. Wells movies in my voice without taking away until a hurricane comes and makes me stop talking.
I like
That's
how
just-
Fruza Balks talked about being a Hollywood outsider when she was a child actor.
Yeah, I know. Go figure.
Maybe she didn't fit in that wise, that way. That's why she's not.
I think her and Richard Stanley had a little something going on the side.
Probably.
Can't say I blame.
I would.
Can't
Shit,
say I
he
blame either one of them.
He's a handsome man.
She was pretty good looking back then, so why not?
And I wonder if he had an affair with the only girl beast in the extras.
the
extra
six-tittied milk lady.
Yeah, I did the movie for 6 weeks. It was great.
We did a lot of
lots of
drugs and
drugs.
fucking. Yeah.
Everybody was fucking everybody, and everybody was buying rock and roll toys. And we
Oh,
played
it was
with
fun watching that guy play the didgeridoo too.
Yeah.
that was.
Oh
a
no!
trip. He was
And then
really,
he told John Frankenheimer told him, "I want you to bash him in the fucking head with your fucking horn that blows, okay?" And he
dickerdo.
goes,
He called it a dickerdo.
"A dickerdo, fucking bait him in the head with his dickerdo."
I like it when he goes, Frankenheimer didn't care about the didgeridoo, and he looks sad. It's like,
Yeah,
He's
That's
like,
how people
this
should be.
is
It's
a
a piece of
sacred
my
instrument.
history. It's my
I'm
piece of
thinking,
my
how does an
history.
instrument become sacred? Yeah.
It's a sacred thing to me, to John.
oh my god, I found a picture of Fruza Balk from this year.
Uh-oh.
Oh my god, it's
Do we
frightening.
want to?
Look at that. Look at that.
Wow. Ah!
I'd still bang her. I don't
Escape
care.
the Bronx.
Yeah, just so you can say you could. Yeah, just so you say you did. You know,
Ah.
bucket list. Well, did that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Score for this. I don't know how we score this. I gave
Oh,
it a
fuck it.
It's a
a
great
good documentary.
documentary.
It's a 10 out of 10. No, you know what? I'm going to take that down. It's a 9 out of 10. I would have liked more of the crazier shit.
Well, I want to hear
It
more
needed to
from
be a
Rob
little longer.
Morrow. We didn't even talk about Rob Morrow,
Yeah.
who was
We
the original
talked about
cat.
his-
Well, did we? I don't think we did.
Yeah, I mentioned I want to film some scenes with him with a helicopter crash.
Oh.
Yeah.
He
the-
was in.
yeah.
He would love
Wasn't
that.
he in that show Numbers? That TV show Numbers?
Yes, he
in
was.
that.
Yeah. Well, he's a big successful actor, but I didn't know he was in this. Yeah, I forgot
I
about
didn't
that.
either. Originally, Bruce Willis was attached. Originally, James Woods was attached. I would have liked to have seen that.
That
But
would
you
be
want to
good.
talk about? They managed to get all of the dicks to be in this fucking movie. Like all the
Oh,
big
yeah.
pricks you could think of. Bruce
Oh,
Willis
yeah.
is a famous prick. Val Kilmer's a famous prick. James Woods is a famous prick. Could they get anybody
Brando.
nice to be in this fucking movie? You know?
No,
Like,
that's the
where do
thing.
you-
He wanted to be surrounded by the biggest fucking egos for no reason.
Fuck.
Why?
Mike
That was
Myers.
the first mistake. Yeah, there you go.
Mike
Put Mike
Myers.
Myers in there too. Why not?
Oh,
have
wait.
him be one of the.
Wrong.
Have him be the sayer of the law. There you go.
Well, I got Phil Hartman, so I guess we could replace him with Mike Myers.
Mike Myers with his fucking fake Scottish accent doing this.
damn.
To walk on all fours.
He's made $500 million off that fake Scottish accent.
Fuck, he's
Can't
done it
fault him on
in 2
that.
franchises. Yeah.
He don't work no more.
That's
No.
why he doesn't need to.
You don't
No,
need
he doesn't
to.
need to, but he's still a
Yeah.
dick.
He even did the Scottish accent in Sorry Mary and Axe Murderer. It just didn't turn into a
Yeah.
franchise.
Yes,
Nope.
say T-R-A-T-A. Why?
Hey, fathead,
Move now.
move, head, move.
I'm telling you, that boy's got a gargantuan cranium.
Man.
Dementos.
All right. I gave it a 7. Adam, you gave it a 9. Dick.
I get 8.
Okay, we're good there. We're covered.
7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
789.
I just gave it a 7 because I think the documentary itself could have been better. Like, I think they could have
Yeah.
tightened it up. and
I wanted more. It needed to be a little longer. At
it
least
could
as
have been a
long
little
as the
more
movie.
focused. And
Yeah.
I don't know. It wasn't shot particularly great. The music.
It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
telling you what happened.
Here's
I was
some
amazed-
pictures, man,
documentary. Just
you know.
personally, the subject matter is great because I'm interested. But the way it was shot was what I had a problem with. But that's just me.
Best documentary I've ever seen in my entire life and still remains my favorite is Electric Boogaloo, The Wild Untold Stories of Canon Films.
It's a good one.
Love that.
If
Love it.
It's not something I'm into, but check out HBO's Jinxed, the Robert Durst
Yeah, that's a good one too. That's supposedly
documentary.
awesome.
That is fucking. It's the best documentary I've ever watched. They caught so much awesome shit on that thing.
Oh, another oldie but goodie, and I'm sure you've seen this one, Phoenix. The Decline of Western Civilization.
The
first
Penelope
one.
Spheris stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a good one too.
She's done like 4 of those.
I met
3
her.
or 4 of those.
I met her. I was a nice meet. I told her
They did the
Thank
punk one,
you.
they did the metal one, and yeah.
Yeah, I love the punk one, or the metal one's the best one.
What do you think?
Punk one's my favorite. Yeah.
I saw her. I met her at a party. I said, like, I wanted to say, I love Decline of Western Civilization. I just saw it again the other day. I said, it's just one of the best documentaries ever, and you're so good. There's such a great thing. She goes, oh, thank you. You're so nice. She was very cool.
Speaking of Mike Myers.
Yeah, well, she did not ever work again with Mike Myers.
Wonder why.
Yeah, because he's a fucking cunt. Like, he was such a cunt. He like attacked her daughter on the set of Wayne's World.
Really?
Because she said, like, I guess in interviews or something, she said, like, even nobody would be afraid. He would attack anybody.
Leo's doing his own thing. I think it was when I was talking about Ron Jeremy's cock.
Is he talking about Ron Jeremy's cock or that guy?
Who knows?
The little
He can give a
17-inch guy.
17-inch cock,
thing.
man.
Everybody's got their own kicks, baby.
Shove them up inside me. All right, guys, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
So, a little homework. I did pick the next 3 episodes we're going to talk about. 3 movies that we're going to talk about. Next time, though, I'll just mention that one. Birdman of Alcatraz. So that'll be the next John Frankenheimer movie we talk about. Another movie he was called in last minute, though, only very different because that's a good movie. This one, no, don't watch this one. Oh,
Island of Dr Morrow is something you put on when you're about to fall asleep, and if you miss part of it, you really didn't miss a damn thing. It's just
I don't want to have nightmares from this movie.
It's surface noise. Yeah,
I want to go.
Noise.
I want to go read about the real Birdman of Alcatraz, so I have something to compare and contrast with for the movie. Because the movie is a complete lie. Because the Birdman of Alcatraz is a fucking psychopath.
I think the biggest sin of the Island of Dr. Morrow is that it doesn't have any defining characteristic. There's not one thing you can say, well, at least it has that. Nothing. There's nothing that you can hang it on and that saves
the only
it
thing, from... At least it has closing credits. That's
okay.
I was like, oh, bye. I saw those and I was excited. That was it.
It has Knox Harrington, the video artist.
Yeah. It had Neil Young.
It has
Animal.
that same bullshit opening, like the one that they used in the Hulk movie, the fucking Ang Lee Hulk movie, like that real fast fucking, just random rapid images. I hate that shit in fucking movies.
You know what the beginning reminded me of is another director I fucking hate.
David Lynch.
Thin Red Line.
Malick.
The beginning of that.
Terrence Malick.
Is so up his own ass. It reminded me of that, where he's like, humans are one thing, and the violence that we saw was not who we... And I'm like, oh my god, shut the fuck up and shoot someone.
Nature.
I can't stand Terrence Malick, and I watched this, and I'm like, oh no, I'm getting flashbacks.
Don't you ever watch The Tree of Life?
No, I will not.
Holy shit!
I have only seen Thin Red Line. I'm like, nope, done with him.
Don't ever watch The Tree of Life.
I don't think.
So did all of us go see this in a theater? Then we all saw this
in the theater. No,
So I'm the only one. I'm the only asshole that saw it in the movie theater.
Like I said, this is the first time I've seen this movie. Okay. I've never watched this movie before. This is the first
I saw it in '96 when it came out.
Oh, we're talking about.
I got to be honest with you.
Movie. Okay.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
When I was in the Navy is kind of when I started getting addicted to movies because we could go see movies and get reimbursed for every movie that we went to. So I saw every movie that came out in the mid-90s for half price. Like half price. We'd see them for half price and then we get like dollars paid back to us on top of that. So most movies I saw for like $2 or $3.
I saw this on VHS when it came out, so probably '97. And then I also later that year saw another Val Kilmer movie that I hate, Ghost in the Darkness.
Ghost in the Darkness is not a bad movie.
It's a fucking terrible movie.
That's a good movie.
It's not good.
Fuck that movie.
No, it's a good movie.
It's not good.
They watch.
It's almost as pretentious as this one is.
You know why? Ghost in the Darkness is a great movie? It's the most historically accurate movie ever made.
Great.
It really it is. It's like 100% that all.
Well, history sucks. Fuck it. I want fantasy from now on.
So yeah, I like that. That movie's good. I don't know. You're mean.
2 out of 3 of us hate
You're
it.
just an asshole.
That movie's it's not like awful, but I'm like, holy fuck, I don't care. I don't care.
You don't care about
Lord.
poor Africans being
Fuck
eaten alive
Africa.
by lions.
No, but why do I need to watch a movie about that?
Well, the real lions didn't have manes because in that part of Africa,
Oh,
the
historically
lions.
inaccurate.
Well, that's the only thing that was wrong.
No, the movie's terrible.
That's the only thing
It's
that
kind
was
of
wrong.
important. It's kind of
According to you,
important.
that takes away a couple points.
Nope, because it'd be boring otherwise.
It's boring.
That's almost
here.
as bad as a great white shark growling in one of the Jaws movies.
Now, my favorite part of the Jaws films is when the Jaws starts talking about his family lineage.
Yeah, how about when Jaws follows the family down to the Caribbean?
When Jaws has a flash, or when his wife has a flashback of a scene she was never at.
Yeah,
In
I love
Jaws 4, it follows the family.
the voice of
Oh
Jaws.
my God.
The voice of Jaws is Marlon Brando from this movie.
Yeah.
Roar.
I'm coming to get you.
It could
I'm
only
going
be
to
one of
eat
two
you.
people. It was either going to be Orson Welles or Marlon Brando. Pick one.
I will come for you. Oh no, there's a giant. They're going to kill me with a barge
A
on the
fat
boat.
actor that just doesn't give a fuck anymore.
I must have four. But that's still one of the best jokes from The Simpsons. Hey Bart, how'd you like to How do you like to transport 10,000 Big Macs to Marlon Brando's island? Classic.
All right,
That
let's
was
get
good.
out of here. So, LIWstudios.com. Check out the videos and podcasts on that site. Loitering in Wonderland YouTube every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. We do Twilight Zones. Every Wednesday, we do an anthology show, and then either a Carpenter, Frankenheimer, or Nick Cage movie. Next week is going to be Nick Cage cast Willy's Wonderland. The only Nick Cage movie that's out I have not seen. So, I will be watching that shortly.
Ooh.
Next time on this show, the podcast, though, Frankenheimer, is, like I said, Bourbon of Alcatraz from 1962, I want to say. Yeah, 62. Yeah, I'm Phoenix West.
Adam Wilcox.
Dickhead.
Who's falling asleep. So long, citizens.
As he usually does by this time.
Oh, Adam.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah.
plug. Adam. Plug.
Oh, RaidersLostFlix.com, Raiders_OTLF. I've been picking up subscribers, even though my content has been lighter than usual. Kind of enjoying that. It's kind of weird, but it's cool. Also, if you watch the Doom Journey, the Doom Journey of whatever this is fucking called again, Lost Soul, the Doomed.
It's right at the bottom of the screen.
The Doomed Journey of Richard Stanley. You don't have to watch The Island of Dr. Morrow. Just watch the documentary.
The Doom Generation with the
Look how long that title is at the bottom, and I still cut it off because it's really Lost Soul, The Doom Journey of Richard Stanley's Island of Dr. Moreau.
Yeah, it's a long title.
It's a long ass title.
I can't believe it's from 2014. It was that long
The
ago.
title's longer than the documentary, but it's still a good documentary. It's worth watching. It's fun.
Check it out.
Crazy.
Documentary is better than the movie, for
Yes.
sure. For sure. But I still think you have to suffer through the movie to understand the documentary fully.
It's funny knowing that movies like these get made, but it's usually involved when directors change in the middle of a fucking movie. Another movie I remember that came out in the 90s that happened to was that Godzilla remake. Changed hands many times.
You know what I have
We all know how that one turned out. Yeah.
I have yet to see Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut.
It's interesting.
I have it. It's
Interesting.
I still don't like it. I never liked Superman 2 ever. I never liked any of the Superman sequels. I just liked the first Richard Donner movie, Superman the Motion Picture. The only one I ever liked.
Yeah. Anyway, so long, citizens. Bye.
Bye.
Am I God?
We're all God. All right. Let me save this.
In fact, when they get to Ron Perlman, it's almost like he's just bullshitting his way through his lines just to get off the set and get out of the makeup. Like,
Even though he was the most
to
excited.
walk on all fours.
Him and the German guy were the only ones that wanted to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only ones that were giving a shit.
That's
Well,
why
the
I would have
extras.
got him for this, because it would have been way more interesting than anyone else they got.
Yeah.
Fruza Balk had the most interesting interviews because she's like, "Wait, he climbed a tree and didn't fuse the leaves
Yeah.
when he had to be up at 4 a.m. No, that doesn't make any sense."
She was the only one that had the balls to say, "Yeah, so it was like the worst movie ever made. Like I want that on my resume." She just actually came out and said that. I'm like, that's the most human thing I've heard from anybody in this whole documentary.
All right, there we go. Yeah, she's an interesting person. I kind of want to meet her, and see what
I bet
happens.
you knew. Mm-hmm. Yep.
She
One thing
probably
leads to
swallowed her
another.
soul.
Yeah.
I feel like she
Couple
would
of
swallow
vodkas
my dick.
later, yeah.
She's like, and just
Well, let's just hope that her and Richard Stanley don't cast spells on you.
Yeah, they might do that.
It might happen.
I met this guy named Phoenix.
4 inches wide.
He tried to get me in bed, and I said no.
I'll have the
Oh,
unfortunate.
he offered sex, and I was like, I gotta be up at 3 a.m. No,
And
Didn't happen.
she's in Bad Lieutenant called Port New Orleans.
Oh, right. I don't remember
She's
that.
in bra and panties.
I unfortunately met Phoenix West, and I cast
she-
witchcraft and black magic on him, and then all of a sudden a hurricane came and
His
Which is
YouTube
stunning.
will never take